Friday! You know what that means? We're live! Ladies and gentlemen, I am the one and only DJ Storms, and I would like to welcome each and every single one of you back here to the channel on YouTube.com. As of course, you already know who I am, Mr. Controversy, and the operator of the best damn Twitter handle known wait for it. Wait for it. To mankind. And this is the official Lightning Flash update for Saturday, October 23rd, 2021. Woo! I expended all that energy and there's only 2 fucking people in here? Where are you? Where is everybody? Got nobody here. I mean, I understand Saturdays can be kind of slow days, and I understand I've been working. I haven't really been promoting too many shows, too many tweets. I understand that, but I mean, come on. Come on. You guys can do better than that. But regardless, to talk about on the channel, there's a lot of material to dissect, a lot of material to go over. I feel sorry for those of you who are going to miss it because there is a lot, and I mean a lot of material to dissect. It's some big stories. We got some big stories, including a story that recently just broke. Concerning the title exchange between Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch from last night. On top of that, Brian Alvarez did report that AEW Rampage did indeed beat SmackDown in the key demographic last week. Alexa Bliss could be returning to her old gimmick. And Booker T, my God, Booker T. The guy just does not know when to shut his fucking mouth. We're going to talk about Booker T's comments on Tony Khan and how Tony Khan was being all confident, I will say, in relations to his product, and he was talking a big game, and he ended up beating SmackDown in the demo. That is a big win for Tony Khan, whether you want to admit it or not. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about WWE's supposed plans for Hit Row, and I got a lot of shit to say about that, but I hope that everyone is doing all right. For those of you who will be watching, and for those of you who are currently watching, obviously, we are live here on YouTube.com. Kind of a very, very slow, non-existent day in the IWC. People obviously trying to make big deals out of nothing, but what else is new with social media nowadays? I am actually doing really, really well. The new job is going fantastic. The new job's going fantastic, and I recently just got some new wrestling merch. Got the new CM Punk shirt finally. Been waiting for that for a long, long time. I also got the new Adam Cole Bay t-shirt, All Elite Bay, as you saw the other day on my Twitter and Instagram. I got my first couple of paychecks as far as my new accounting position goes. And my, oh my, it feels sweet. It really does feel sweet to get paid the big bucks. And Lord knows I'm going to be saving up a lot of that. I'm going to be putting that aside because I got some big plans for my future. Got some really big plans for my future. I would like to thank each and every single one of you who have been watching me, who will be watching me, and who have continued to support me for the longest time now. If you are in the chat, please make sure you send out a message. Please send out a message. I would love to interact with you. I would love for you to interact with me. We have a lot of material, including some weekly shows to discuss. I will be talking about Crown Jewel and the surprisingly great show that was Crown Jewel. They delivered very, very well in Saudi Arabia, perhaps the best Saudi Arabian event that they've ever done. I don't think that this Saudi Arabian event's ever going to be topped. Crowd was hot for the show as well. And that's what I loved about the Saudi Arabian crowd most of all. I'm not sure if you guys sensed it, but it almost felt like they knew what they were getting and they were hyped up. They were hyped up. They were ready. They were craving for it. And WWE ended up putting on a damn good program on Thursday. And we're going to talk about that. But first things first, before anything, please make sure you follow me on social media, on Twitter and Instagram at the DJ_Storms. It is vital that you do. Follow me there and turn on my notifications. That way you will be notified whenever I tweet or whether I post an Instagram picture and or story. Please make sure you add me on Facebook for collaborations and business inquiries. Please send me an email. My email is, of course, StormsTakeOver@gmail.com. Like the official DJ Storms business page, and I may just send you an invite to join the official DJ Storms Posse group on Facebook. All of those links are in the description. It is absolutely vital that you check them all out. Check out all those links. I would like to thank each and every single one of you who tuned in to the rundown for WWE Crown Jewel with All Elite Mikey last week. It was a pleasure to have All Elite Mikey on the show. Shout out to him. He is fantastic at what he does. He is a very, very, very good person. I hope to have him back on the channel sooner rather than later. Please go follow him on Twitter at All Elite Mikey. Mikey being M-I-K-E-Y, All Elite Mikey. If you guys haven't already done so, please make sure you hit that like button when you come in, or whether you're watching this after I have already ended the stream. Please make sure you hit the like button. It is vital that you do. It helps me out. It helps the channel out. And we got goals we want to reach. So far, we got 8 likes, I believe. 8 likes. Hopefully, we can get to a little bit more. Even though today's a little bit slow, I will set a goal for at least 20 likes. That's just how I am. I like to set goals. I like to put myself high up on pedestals. So please, if you guys have not already done so, please make sure you hit the like button. I want to get to at least 20 likes. And be sure to share the stream out on all platforms, social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, Tumblr, TikTok, and Snapchat, whatever social media platforms that you use. Get as many people in here as possible. Look at this. Camilo Corrales. Hey, brother, glad the job is going well. And finally, someone who thought Crown Jewel was a good card. And Booker T and Tony Khan are both clown shoes. No, Tony Khan ain't no clown shoes. Tony Khan ain't no clown shoes. Tony Khan's the GOAT, brother. All right? Don't be trashing TK now. Lord knows I'm on his payroll. No, I'm just fucking around with you. But anyway, I'm glad to see you in the chat, and I greatly appreciate all of your support. Please make sure, share out the stream on all platforms, social media, brother, if you haven't already done so. And let's get as many people in here as possible, because we've got goals that we want to reach. We want to get to at least 20 likes. It's vital. Please make sure you do so. Share it out on all platforms, social media. Tell everyone that DJ Storms is live on YouTube. Please make sure you hit the subscribe button if you have not already done so, and you hit the notifications bell with a huge coup de grace. That way you will know whenever I pop up on YouTube, because whenever I pop up on YouTube, I mean, come on. It is the best time to be on YouTube, because it's the only time you're going to get to see this glorious sideburn chin strap combo. This beautiful mustache right here. One last thing. I know she's not watching. But because she's out getting a mani-pedi. I know that she's pampering herself today, but I do want to wish happy birthday to my mom. She is celebrating her birthday today. She has taught me well. She has raised me right. She has taught me perseverance. She's taught me to strive to be the best and to work hard, to always look at the brighter side of things. And I do want to send out a special thank you to my mom. Happy birthday to you. Even though I know you're not watching and you're going out having a great day on the town. I'll be seeing you tonight. I'm going to have some cake, going to relax. It's going to be a good night. Please, 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 please do not forget, set your calendar dates every single Saturday, because the LFU goes live every single Saturday at 1 p.m. I'm also looking to get some more people on the channel, some new faces on the channel. Hopefully we can get some new faces on the channel in the next coming weeks, especially since we got Full Gear coming up. We got Full Gear coming up on November 13th. That's a Saturday. We also got Survivor Series coming up. I believe that's on the 21st of November, if I am not mistaken. Lots of good things, lots of good content coming your way. Of course, not on the WWE side, but we'll talk about that when we get to it. But nevertheless, we are going to get straight into the news, rumors, and reports. And as more people come in and as more people spark up the conversation, I will be checking the chat after I finish the news, rumors, and reports section. And I will also be checking the chat after the weekly show reviews. After every single show that I review, I will be checking the chat. Let's start off with the big story that came out of last night's SmackDown. So apparently, there was a backstage confrontation between Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair. Mike Johnson of PW Insider reported this early this morning. He stated, and I quote, "We were told the issue arose after Charlotte Flair said to have voiced concerns before WWE went on the air, concerned about the championship exchange segment that featured Becky trading her SmackDown Women's Championship belt for Flair's Raw Women's Championship belt. We are told by several who were I can't read these fucking guys' words. These people try and be fancy. Don't throw out these fancy words, please, when you're journalizing wrestling. Don't try and act all fancy or smarter than you really are, Mike Johnson, all right? But he said that Flair was voicing that she didn't want to look weak, nor did she want her title reign to look weak. Despite those concerns, the segment went on as planned. During the segment, there was a moment where Flair was to hand the belt to Becky, but instead pulled it away and threw the belt on the mat, which was not the way the segment was supposed to go. At that point, Sonya Deville demanded Charlotte retrieve the belt and hand it to her, which Flair did. Sonya then asked for Becky's title, but Lynch threw her title belt at Flair, which was also not part of the plan. PWInsider.com is told. I'm not sure if you guys sensed it with PW Insider, but my God, they have so many grammar errors. They really do. So the report continued on by saying, at that point, Flair did mic work to set up Sasha Banks coming out, which put the segment back on track with Lynch leaving after teasing a potential Survivor Series showdown with one of them. However, after Flair and Banks had their physical confrontation, Flair went to the back. We were told at that point there was a confrontation over Flair allegedly disrespecting Lynch during the segment, and there were words between the two. We are told that the situation was heated, but did not get physical. Now, the report continued on by saying, none of Lynch, Deville, or Flair were happy, but they moved things along knowing Sasha Banks had to make her way to the ring. PW Insider has reported backstage, Lynch and Flair are said to have got in a heated row. Lynch is said to have wanted to have a Becky two belts moment holding both titles. Although the altercation didn't become physical, WWE officials were concerned. The Lynch-Flair friendship has been strained for some time. People close to the situation say Flair didn't appreciate being called plastic during a promo a couple of years ago, and it's been tense since. Flair walked away, and Vince McMahon is said to have been angry Charlotte left Gorilla without talking to him. Flair is now headed to Orlando to support Andrade at AEW Dynamite. The Queen fought all day against the title switch. In fact, it's believed no one involved was happy about it. Staying with Flair, she also campaigned to lose clean to Bianca Belair on Monday Night Raw. She's understood to be a huge fan of Belair and believed the finish killed what could have been a big win for her. Lynch is now the champion of Raw, and Flair is the champion of SmackDown. The next time they could feasibly meet would be if they were both still champions come Survivor Series. And that was it. There's a lot to go into this situation. But one thing I am going to flat out tell you right out of the gate, no one person is at fault here. Okay? No one person is at fault. Matter of fact, it is the exact opposite. Everyone is at fault. Everyone regarding this segment, everyone regarding this entire creative process, everyone regarding everything that had to do with this championship title exchange, everyone that had any part in this is to blame. Charlotte is to blame, Becky is to blame, and most importantly, Vince is to blame. First off, here's something that I want to know. Supposedly, I heard from a source. I'm not going to name names, but I got sources. I got a few sources. No sources specifically within the WWE, but I got a few sources. I heard that apparently Fox asking for Charlotte Flair. I heard that apparently Fox asking for Charlotte Flair was bullshit. Okay. If that was bullshit, why did you trade Charlotte Flair to SmackDown to begin with? More importantly, why did you trade Charlotte Flair to SmackDown when she was the Raw Women's Champion? I'm still trying to figure this out. I'm trying to figure out what prompted WWE to switch Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch between brands when they were both the brand's respective champions. Well, I guess I shouldn't say respective because WWE completely shit all over their women's division and the titles after what happened on SmackDown. But I would love to know from anyone, can someone please give me a logical explanation? Why did Becky and Charlotte swap brands when they were the brand's respective champions to begin with? It made absolutely zero fucking sense to me. Made absolutely zero sense. I don't get it. I honestly don't get it. That's number one. Number two, if you were going to have them swap brands, then why didn't they lose the respective championships or the formerly respective championships that they once held? Why did you book the same exact segment that you booked with the New Day and the Street Profits last year during the draft? Do you realize how fucking weak? You know, Charlotte didn't want to look weak. I got my gripes on that because we live by a code here, and that's fuck Charlotte Flair. I say it all the fucking time. Charlotte Flair is exactly what I say she is. She's a self-absorbed, manipulative cunt. But overall, I don't understand WWE's mentality of thinking. Do they honestly believe that there's going to be people, or at least the majority of the fans, that are going to be okay with Charlotte and Becky just swapping championships? Or any champion swapping championships at that? How would it look? And it's not just Flair and Becky. How would it look if Roman and Big E, they got drafted to different brands and they just had a segment where they just swapped the championships? Don't you understand how that fucking devalues not only the championship, but the people surrounding the championship, the people that look to fight for the championship? Don't you understand how that devalues just everything that people who work in matches competing for that championship? Do you understand how it devalues all the work that these individuals put forth every single time they put their bodies on the line in the ring? Who okays this? That's number one. Or at least I should say that's number two. Now, supposedly, the Flair-Becky friendship has been strained. It's been strained for a while. It's been strained for a while because Charlotte Flair is still pissy that Becky Lynch called her plastic all those years ago. It's 3 years ago, honey. Get the fuck over it. Get the fuck over it. I'm sure you've been called much worse. So, apparently, Charlotte Flair advocated for Bianca Belair to go over. Charlotte Flair advocated for Bianca Belair to go over. There were some reports that even said that Becky advocated for Sasha to win the championship. Regardless of who wanted to do what, the end decision, if it had to fucking be Charlotte and Becky switching brands and the championships went with them, if that had to be, Bianca should have won the Raw Women's Championship and Sasha should have won the SmackDown Women's Championship. That would have been a hell of a lot better because A, it would have made up for what happened with Bianca at SummerSlam. I said that nothing could have made up for that, but WWE had one chance with Bianca and Charlotte, and that was a great match, I will say. Up until the ending, that match was a very good match, and they had the opportunity to finally redeem themselves after what they did to Bianca at SummerSlam, and they chose not to. Whether it was Charlotte's decision, whether it was Vince's decision, doesn't matter whose decision it was. The final call should have been, if Becky and Charlotte were switching brands, it should have been Charlotte Flair dropping the Raw Women's title to Bianca, and it should have been Becky dropping the SmackDown Women's title to Sasha Banks. That didn't happen. And now we get this segment. If Charlotte Flair supposedly was complaining and campaigning for this segment not to take place, and they didn't even give in to Charlotte, the most entitled woman in WWE and possibly pro wrestling history, if they didn't even give in to Charlotte's demands, my God, no one is going to be able to break through to Vince McMahon. No one. And of course, none of the people that are the closest to Vince McMahon are going to stand up because they're a bunch of yes men. White Castle Pritchard, Timmy Turner, all grown up, Kevin Dunn. My name's Mr. John Laurinaitis. None of them are going to stand up to Vince. They're just going to bend a knee to the almighty Vince while fucking John Laurinaitis sticks his nose up Vince McMahon's ass, brushes his teeth with his pubic hair. Kevin Dunn sucks on Vince McMahon's left nut. Bruce Pritchard sucks on Vince McMahon's right. That's how it goes. No one's going to stand up to Vince. And the people that will stand up to Vince can't make him budge on anything. So Vince is just as to blame as Becky and Charlotte. Becky acted unprofessional with whatever she said she was going to do because she wanted a fucking Becky two belts moments. Her ego, let me tell you something. Becky Lynch's ego has inflated so fucking much. She would be nothing if Nia Jax never broke her fucking nose. She would be nothing. She would have never gotten a WrestleMania moment. She would have never won the Royal Rumble. And she would have never gone on to hold the championship for 400 days. Why is it that Becky, whenever she wants to advocate for someone, it's so convenient for her, but now all of a sudden she's got a big fucking head? This is why I call her Becky Flair. She's become what Charlotte Flair is and always has been. And Charlotte Flair, don't even get me started on Charlotte Flair. I don't even need to go in depth on Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair has always been a cancer. Charlotte Flair has always been a cancer, whether it's on her or whether it's on Vince. I'd say both. But Becky in the Becky two belts moment, she's demanding a fucking Becky two belts moment. I don't give a shit how much pull you got. You don't get to call the shots around here. You don't get to call the shots around here. Neither does Charlotte. And because of that, now Charlotte decided to be unprofessional and drop the championship right in the middle of the ring. I don't give a shit who you are. You do not go off script like that. You don't go off script like that. You don't go into a scenario where you're going into business for yourself, because then it's going to cause trouble between everyone. No one is innocent in this entire game. The segment should have never even taken place. Charlotte and Becky should have lost their championships to Bianca and Sasha respectfully, and above all else, they should have never even been traded to either brand when they were the champions. They should have never even been given the championships. Rhea Ripley should still be the Raw Women's Champion going into SummerSlam. Shayna should have won Money in the Bank, and she should have cashed in on Rhea. Shayna should be the Raw Women's Champion right now. As far as Bianca goes, Bianca should still be the SmackDown Women's Champion. You should have done the Queen's Crown tournament going into Extreme Rules with Sonya Deville winning, and Sonya should have been the one to take the title off Bianca Belair. That's what should have happened. Did it? Of course not. Of course not. No one is innocent. No one is innocent. Everyone is to blame for what happened with this segment. You got two egomaniacal, self-centered women clashing over, I want this, I want that, no, I want this, no, I want that, no, I want you to do that, no, I want you to do this. They booked Becky and Charlotte to act like juvenile children throwing a fucking tantrum in a fucking Toys R Us. No, I want both belts. No, you can't have either belts. We'll talk about that more once we get to the SmackDown review, but holy shit. Everything and everyone regarding this entire segment and this entire incident with Becky and Charlotte and them swapping the championships, everyone should be dealt with. Absolute fucking joke. We're gonna move on to the next report, which is actually a fairly positive report. So Brian Alvarez reported on Monday afternoon that while SmackDown did beat AEW Rampage last week in the overall viewership, Rampage actually defeated SmackDown in the 18 to 49 demographic. The final tally between the two shows from 10 to 10:30 p.m. last Friday was AEW Rampage finishing with 328,000 viewers in the key demographic, while SmackDown finished with 282,500 viewers. Now, I don't give a shit about the ratings. I don't give a shit about the ratings. I don't give a shit about the demo. It's of no concern to me. It's of no concern to you. But it is big concern to Tony Khan. And we'll talk about that more when we talk about Booker T's stupid-ass comments. We'll talk about that when we talk about Booker T's stupid-ass comments. But I will say this. For a 2-month show, in a 10 p.m. time slot, that's fucking huge. Whether you want to admit it or not, Rampage beating SmackDown in the key demographic where the most money is made, that's huge for AEW and that's huge for Tony Khan. That's huge for them. And that right there, that just goes to show you what AEW is doing right before our very eyes. AEW is switching the tide right before our very eyes. A lot of people don't understand why WWE is still beating AEW in the overall ratings. And people want to act as if WWE is a better product. No, it's not. You want to know why AEW has not been beating WWE in the overall ratings? 2 reasons. Number 1, WWE has established a reputation of longevity. And WWE has spent all of these years going unopposed. WWE has spent all these years going unopposed, and they have pretty much made themselves into the juggernaut that you see right now. Longevity is rather impressive to a lot of people, including myself. I will give them credit where credit's due. Longevity warrants support. Longevity warrants long-term fan support. That's number 1. Number two, a lot of people don't even realize what damage WWE did over the course of the last X amount of years before AEW came around. WWE and this farce of sports entertainment, and I want everyone to get it through their fucking head. Sports entertainment is not pro wrestling. And if you think it is, you're a fucking retard. But at the end of the fucking day, this farce of sports entertainment has completely ruined everything professional wrestling related, so much so that if you go up to a non-wrestling fan and you mention pro wrestling to them, they will go up to you and they will say, "Oh, you still watch that? It's terrible. Don't you know that it's fake?" 9 out of 10 times you will hear something along those lines. Oh, it's fake. Oh, it's terrible. Oh, it's for children. Oh, you still watch that. And WWE has drilled this just negative mentality into everyone's head whenever someone brings up the term professional wrestling. They have left such a bad vibe around it, so much so that AEW has been working their asses off diligently to try and reverse that mentality, and they still haven't done that. They're putting on great shows, but AEW has not yet to reverse this diluted mentality that WWE has drilled into some of these people that used to be pro wrestling fans that have now gravitated away from it because of how bad WWE has become. Those are the only two reasons why WWE is still beating AEW in the overall ratings. Other than that, AEW has got them beat in every other department. But back to what I was saying, the fact that AEW Rampage is beating SmackDown, a show that's been around for 20 plus years, whether it's for 30 minutes, 15 minutes, 5 minutes, or 10 seconds in the key demographic, that is fucking huge. That is fucking huge, and that is to be celebrated and appreciated. Because if AEW Rampage, their B show, a show that's in a 10 p.m. time slot on a Friday, that's been around for 2 months, if that show is already beating a well-established WWE show in the key demographic where the most money is made, what do you think is going to happen in 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, 24 months? What do you think is going to happen within the next 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years? They're already outbeating WWE in the key demographic, and they're already outbeating WWE in terms of quality right now. What's going to happen when WWE loses the one thing that all the WWE shills and all these WWE cocksuckers fall back on? What's going to happen when WWE loses the overall rating? What's going to happen? I'll tell you what's going to happen. There will be no more excuses. There will be no more excuses. You can't move the goalpost anymore after that. But Roman Reigns wants to go out on a fucking podcast and say, oh yeah, they're nothing more than little brothers. Yeah, AEW's not competition. Wow, what a way to disrespect some of your fellow peers that you once shared a locker room with. Guys like FTR and Miro and Andrade and Chris Jericho and Jon Moxley, who was a part of one of the greatest factions in pro wrestling history with the Shield. What a way to disrespect your peers, Joseph NOI. I understand he's just towing the company line and playing a character, but holy shit. I will say it once again. If you can't say something intelligent, don't say nothing at all. There's nothing wrong with defending a company, but if you are going to defend the company in an area in which it can't be defended, and you are just going to openly come off like a fucking idiot, you may as well not even fucking speak. Rampage beats SmackDown in the key demographic. That is fucking huge. But yet Roman Reigns wants to say they're not competition. Wait till you hear what I heard from my friend Earl. Earl Cole shared this report with me, and I was going to talk about it a little later, but hell, I might as well talk about it now. To follow up SmackDown losing in the key demo to AEW, let's talk about this report from the Wrestling Observer. Apparently, the Wrestling Observer noticed they noted that there is a feeling among the WWE brass backstage that they don't need to worry about AEW. And I quote, they said they just need to ride it out, and AEW will burn out like WCW did in their eyes. I don't even know where to begin with that, but all I can tell you is if you wanted a clear-cut indication that WWE, they don't know what the fuck they are doing, and they are completely out of touch with what's happening right before their very eyes, there you go. There you go. It is unbelievable how unintelligent WWE really is. It is unbelievable how deluded WWE really is that they actually believe that AEW is WCW 2.0. This just goes to show you that WWE, and it's not just WWE, it's fans too. It's fans too. WWE and some of their fan base, a good chunk of their fan base, They don't know their fucking toenail from their nipple. They are brain dead. Absolutely brain dead. So, let me clarify a few things. Let me clarify a few things to everyone here. TNA and WCW, they did not have what AEW has. They didn't have a smart man running the company. Eric Bischoff, while he was great at what he did, while he brought about some of the greatest moments in pro wrestling history, Eric Bischoff was not a smart businessman. He wasn't. Eric Bischoff took Ted Turner's money and just wasted it away on all of these different former WWF guys, and that's all he put his money into. Meanwhile, you take a look at Tony Khan. What has Tony Khan done to show you that all he does is push former WWE guys? You see, one thing that AEW has done, in which TNA and WCW did not do, first of all, Tony Khan, you want to claim that Tony Khan isn't minding his own business because, he's taking petty shots at WWE. Are you seriously worried about Tony Khan just talking about WWE? It's not about how much he talks about WWE. It's about what his actions are as far as his show goes. He put his show on Wednesdays, away from Mondays and Fridays, where Raw and SmackDown are. If he wanted a war and he wanted to compete with WWE and take down the almighty E-Federation, then he would have gone on Monday and Friday. He didn't. Eric Bischoff did. He went on Mondays with WCW Nitro. What about TNA? They tried for a second Monday Night Wars throughout the 2010s, and they fell flat on their face. AEW's not doing that. AEW's working around WWE's schedule. They're not going head-to-head with WWE. They are putting on their own show on a different night of the week. That's number one. But you're worried about how much Tony Khan talks about WWE. You're worried about him tweeting about Vince McMahon. You're worried about the Acclaimed or fucking Christian Cage or the Young Bucks taking petty shots at WWE for 10 seconds on a fucking Dynamite. If that is what you are worried about and you're complaining over that, you are the biggest fucking pussy I have ever seen. Number two, Tony Khan is doing something that WCW failed to do, and that is create a plethora of new stars. Be honest here. How many new stars did Eric Bischoff truthfully create in WCW? I can name them all on one hand. Sting, Goldberg, maybe Booker T, and maybe Diamond Dallas Page. That's it. Outside of those four guys, what new stars did Eric Bischoff create? Be real here. What new stars did Eric Bischoff create? Eric Bischoff never planned for the future. Every other booking decision that Eric Bischoff made was to start up a war with WWF at the time, and then WWF, they introduced the Attitude Era, and it was a constant back and forth. Tony Khan, you take a look at Tony Khan, he's not focused on WWE. None of his booking decisions have been in response to a WWE show, and above all else, Tony Khan has a plethora of new stars for the future. Darby Allin, Sammy Guevara, Jungle Boy, MJF, The Acclaimed, the Varsity Blondes, Red Velvet, Jade Cargill, Britt Baker, Chris Statlander, Santana and Ortiz, Ricky Starks, Powerhouse Hobbs, Scorpio Sky, Ethan Page. The list goes on and on. Tony Khan is building towards the future. He's putting all this effort into homegrown talent. He's putting all of this effort into individuals who he sees as the future of the company. Individuals who have talent that they haven't even tapped into yet. Can you imagine what Ricky Starks is going to be like 5 years from now? Can you imagine what Powerhouse Hobbs is going to be like 5 years from now? Can you imagine what Jungle Boy, MJF, Darby Allin, Sammy Guevara, can you imagine what all of those guys are going to be like 5, 6 years from now. Tony Khan is investing in, can you imagine the Acclaimed? Look how great the Acclaimed is. Look how great Max Caster is. Look how great Anthony Bowens is. Can you imagine what they're going to be like in 5 fucking years? They're going to be the face of the fucking tag team division. I mean, what more do you want me to say? What more do you want me to say? Tony Khan is building towards the future. And AEW has shown you that they're here to stay. If AEW is already beating WWE in the key demographic, and they're already outselling WWE in ticket sales, what do you think is going to happen 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 15 years from now? AEW is not just going to fade out. AEW is not just going to fade. They're not just going to fade out. They're going to continue to grow. They're going to continue to expand. Can you imagine what's going to happen when they are fucking selling out stadiums as if it's fucking WrestleMania season? What's going to happen then? WWE cannot keep on operating with this diluted mentality because it's going to come back around to bite them in the ass. AEW has remained around a consistent viewership. Their biggest viewership was a 1.4 million on the debut episode, and since then, they have hovered around the 1.1, the 1.2, the 1.3. Meanwhile, WWE has lost half their fucking audience for SmackDown when they initially debuted. They had 4 million viewers, and they lost half of it, maybe even a little more. What about Monday Night Raw? Just 7 years ago, not even a decade ago, Monday Night Raw was drawing 4.5 million viewers on a weekly basis. Now, they can't even break a 1.8. How many Monday Night Raws have been over 2 million this year? 3. WWE's in some serious shit. They're in some serious shit, and they will continue to suffer if they continue to just brush this off. I got into a heated rant on that. May as well take a little break and talk to the peeps. Tyrone, Morgan, Leo, Blazed Radio. We got Psycho Dad, Jesse, Matt Moody, and Rob Wells Jr. We also got a Bicky TMD. Thank you all for joining the LFU today on a Saturday. I greatly appreciate each and every single one of you. I hope you all like the new CM Punk shirt. It's fitting that I got a shirt that says best in the world because I'm the best in the world when it comes to wrestling analytics. And you fucking know. But I greatly appreciate all you guys and gals taking time out of your day to watch me here on a Saturday. Those are just 2 reports. We got plenty more to get into. Wait until you hear what I got to say about Booker T. Oh my God, Booker T. Booker T sipping the WWE Kool-Aid. Ain't that right? David Maniscalco, how you doing? Let's continue on with the reports. Speaking of WWE and them being out of touch and diluted, Andrew Zarian of the Mat Men podcast, he reported that WWE is planning on doing an old school Raw event next year. He tweeted out on Monday morning, and I quote, from source, Retro Raw is set to return in January. Hashtag WWE, hashtag WWE Raw. This doesn't surprise me at all because this is what WWE does. This is how WWE operates. WWE goes, hey, we're depleting in the ratings. We're not doing too well in the demo. We're losing to AEW now in the demo. Let's bring back the legends. Let's bring back a Hulk Hogan. Let's bring back a fucking Medusa. Let's bring back fucking Tori Wilson. Let's try and bring back the Bellas and try and shove it in everyone's face that they're legends. Let's bring back all these fucking legends and put them on pedestals and maybe it'll boost up the ratings. Meanwhile, they did a Raw Legends night last year at the beginning of January and they barely broke a 2 million. Legends aren't draws anymore. Legends aren't draws anymore. No one's a draw anymore. You put on an overall good show and people will watch. That's why people have remained consistent with AEW. That's why people watch AEW, because they're an overall great product. It's simple as that. But no, let's do a retro Raw. Let's do a retro Raw. Let's do an old school Raw and shove it in everyone's face that we don't know how to build new stars. And every other new star that we build, we bury. Go on. Do a retro Raw. See how well it goes. Moving on to the next report, I got a report on Alexa Bliss. Even though I can't fucking stand the bitch. So Alexa Bliss took to social media. She took to social media and she posted a GIF that shows her transforming from her Firefly Funhouse persona to her normal persona of the goddess. Now, this has sparked up some speculation that she could be returning under the normal goddess character. Bliss hasn't been seen since the Extreme Rules pay-per-view where she lost to Charlotte Flair and Charlotte Flair ripped up Lily right before our very eyes, and it is unclear when she will be back. I don't know when she's going to be back. To be quite honest, I don't give a shit because the longer Alexa Bliss is off of television, the better. Alexa Bliss is the complete opposite of what women's wrestling is. Alexa Bliss should not be in a wrestling ring. Alexa Bliss should not be employed by any wrestling company. Well, actually, you know what? She can go to Impact. She can go to Impact because no one gives a shit about Impact and no one watches Impact. She can stink up the joint in that women's division. They already got fucking the Iconics coming to Impact. What a way to make sure I don't fucking watch Impact. So Alexa Bliss. Alexa Bliss could be returning under the new goddess character. I hate Alexa Bliss. I hate Alexa Bliss with a burning passion. I do not find her to be appealing in terms of pro wrestling in any way, shape, or form. I think she's an embarrassment to women's wrestling. I think her fan base is absolute AIDS. And I think that everything regarding Alexa Bliss is complete shit. And she should have been fired a long time ago. But as far as the goddess character, I'll take the goddess character over the Firefly Funhouse Alexa Bliss any day of the week. As long as we don't have fucking papier-mâché Lily coming around with Charlotte, coming around with fucking Alexa Bliss every now and then. You get rid of papier-mâché Lily and bring back the goddess, I ain't going to be complaining. I'll keep you guys updated on whether or not Alexa Bliss could very well be returning under the goddess character. Moving on here to another report. We got a report from WrestleVotes. WrestleVotes took to Twitter on Monday to provide an update on Karrion Kross. The tweet read, source states WWE is shifting Karrion Kross's character once again. Plan is for him to be more of a psycho, yet still calm and cool. As of now, the helmet stays, but for whatever reason, still no Scarlet. Presentation of entrance, including theme music, set to change as well. End quote. And that was the tweet that they sent out earlier this week. I really don't know what else I could say about Karrion Kross. I don't know what else I could say about Karrion Kross. I don't know what else I could say about the WWE. I don't know what else I could say about this scenario in general because it is just, it's beyond fucking ridiculous at this rate. It really is. It's beyond ridiculous to a point where I don't even know why anyone even bothers investing 1 second of their time in a character on WWE television outside of Roman Reigns. Maybe RK Bro. Outside of that, who is there to invest in? No one is booked consistently. No one's booked consistently. No one is portrayed in the correct roles, minus those 3 individuals. No one is pushed like they should be pushed. Everyone is either over-pushed or under-pushed. No one is pushed just right. No one is pushed just right. No one is given the proper amount of time on television to showcase to us what they can really do. No one. No one. Karrion Kross was absolutely perfect the way he was. There was no reason to change his music. There was no reason to change his outfit. There was no reason to take away Scarlett from him. There was no reason to do any of that. There was no reason to have him lose in 90 seconds to Jeff Hardy. There was no reason to do any of that. And the only reason why was because they wanted to send a message to Triple H and everyone down there in NXT that they should not be upstaging them, even though everyone, even backstage, they know that Vince McMahon and his team are doing everything wrong. Meanwhile, Triple H was correcting everything that Vince McMahon was doing wrong, and Triple H, while he wasn't perfect, was putting on the better show. Triple H was putting on the show that people could actually invest in. NXT back then is what AEW is now. Karrion Kross did not need any changes to his gimmick or his entrance or his character whatsoever. They fucking changed Sami Zayn's theme music, for fuck's sake. You took away Sami Zayn's theme music, which was perhaps one of the best theme songs in WWE right now. And you took that away from him. Doesn't even feel the same anymore. At this rate, Sami Zayn is as good as gone. We'll be talking about that when we get to the SmackDown review. Zayn's as good as gone. Zayn is as good as gone. Karrion Kross, it doesn't matter what they do. It doesn't matter what they change. It doesn't matter how much quote-unquote effort you want to put into Karrion Kross. Karrion Kross is buried. No one's going to give a shit about him. No one's going to invest their time in him. He looks like a fucking joke. He looks like a fucking hatchet man straight out of fucking medieval times. You really going to invest in that? You're going to invest in that. Moving on. I got a report on Hit Row, soon to be known as Shit Row. Let me get a shit row in the chat. Everyone's going to be tweeting that out sooner rather than later. Everyone in the community, big and small and well-known and unknown and hated and loved, everyone in the community will be tweeting out, shit row, shit row, shit row. And if you didn't suck, now you suck. PW Insider, they confirmed what Hit Row will be doing on the main roster. They reported that Top Dollar, No Dollar, Hypersensitive Dollar, Pussy Dollar, who blocked me on fucking Twitter, Pussy Dollar will be the single superstar. Meanwhile, Isaiah No Balls Scott, he blocked me too, and Ashante the Adonis will be the tag team in the group. Now, that really wasn't the case. That wasn't the case this past Friday, or yesterday, I should say. This wasn't the case last night on SmackDown, but plans could still change. I'm not sure if they are really going to invest in Top Dollar as a singles guy. But in terms of who to push and who not to push, if you're really going to relegate Swerve to a fucking tag team after what this guy did for how many years on NXT and how great he was on NXT, I don't even know. I don't even know what to say anymore. I'm literally running out of things to. I'm running out of material to come up with. I am running out of things to say because I've said literally everything under the fucking sun about this company. It all goes back to the same thing. They're out of touch. They don't know what the fuck they're doing, and they are legitimately they're legitimately blinded by this past deluded mentality. Either that or they're pushing Top Dollar because he's sucking the WWE dick. They called up Hit Row because they wanted to appeal to the younger demographic. And when that doesn't work, Hit Row will become just like Sanity. They couldn't get it right with Sanity. And Sanity was better than Hit Row. Sanity was better than Hit Row. And you couldn't get it right with them. Sanity barely got 11 fucking matches within 1 year on television. With how many shows that they had all year? What, 52, 56 shows? How many matches did Sanity compete on television before they broke them up in the 2019 draft? Sanity was better than Hit Row in almost every single capacity, yet WWE didn't get it right with them. What makes you think they're going to get it right with Hit Row? I don't want them to fail. I don't want them to fail, but they weren't ready to be called up. You called up Hit Row and Xia Li and Aaliyah and fucking Ridge Holland, but you pass on LA Knight. You pass on LA Knight. You pass on Johnny Gargano. You pass on fucking Pete Dunne. You pass on who else? Who else? All these other fucking guys. You pass on all these other fucking guys that could have easily added a lot of value to what you have. You let Adam Cole walk to call up fucking Hit Row when they weren't even ready. Meanwhile, Adam Cole's been ready since the day he walked in the fucking door to be a WWE champion. You relegate Swerve, who's the best wrestler out of all four of them, to a fucking tag team. Fuck this company. I got a report on the whereabouts of Eva Marie. And I'd like to hope that everyone here is in the same camp as I am, and they hope that Eva Marie will stay gone for a long, long time. So the Wrestling Observer newsletter reported that Eva Marie was written off of TV because she is working on another project. It is said to be some sort of movie project. I don't know what she's doing. I don't give a shit what she's doing. The longer she's off of television, the better. The longer she's off of television, the more I will not complain. The longer she's off of television, the more I will stay sane. My last report of the day, and then we'll get into the weekly show reviews. We got a lot of material to talk about in terms of the weekly shows. Booker T, Booker Shill, Booker WWE cocksucker. Booker T came out on his Hall of Fame podcast with yet another stupid comment. So after Tony Khan went on Twitter and he fired back at WWE for attempting to counter-program them by adding 30 minutes to SmackDown, SmackDown beat Rampage in the overall ratings, while Rampage beat SmackDown in the demo like we just touched upon. Booker T spoke on Tony Khan by saying this: I'm of the sentiment that Tony Khan's doing a lot of talking about nothing. Go out and produce a good show. At the end of the day, we'll know who won. If that's your goalpost, if that's where you're trying to score in, I swear, man, it sounds like a little schoolgirl saying how pretty she is over the other girls in the schoolyard. End quote. Now, this is just one single tidbit of what he said. I'm not going in depth on everything that he said. If you want to go out and take a look, you can, but for my own sanity, I'm not going to go in depth on everything that he said because I just cannot bear to listen or read this guy's retarded ass comments. It's just beyond insane to me how anyone even gives this guy 2 seconds of their time. Tony Khan's doing a lot of talking about nothing. A lot of talking about nothing. A lot of talking about nothing. How is it nothing? Well, what about it makes it nothing? Are you telling me that after 20 years, a new company that's only been around for 2 years, beating an established veteran company like WWE in a key demographic where the most money is made? Again, it's not important to me. It's not important to you, but it's certainly important to Tony Khan because, again, Tony Khan is a businessman. Tony Khan is going to do what he needs to do, put out good content, because good content equals people who watch the show. People that watch the show equals higher demographic ratings. And when the ratings are as high as they could possibly be in the key demographic where the most money is made between 18 and 49, then Tony Khan is going to get more money. Is that really so hard for Booker T to understand? That's why AEW is going out there and they're outselling WWE in fucking Long Island. WWE hasn't even had 3,000 tickets sold for the Long Island show. Meanwhile, AEW is almost sold out. How is it talking about nothing? How is it talking about nothing? Go out and produce a good show. Booker T, if you haven't been watching, if you've been living under a motherfucking rock for the last God knows how many years, that's what Tony Khan's been doing. But of course, you will never admit that. Of course, you will never admit that because you got Vince McMahon's schlong shoved 8 inches up your ass. At the end of the day, we'll know who won. Oh, we know who wins. We know who's been winning. It's been AEW. It don't matter that WWE is making the most money out of anyone in the wrestling industry. It don't matter if WWE is going out there and they're outbeating AEW in the overall ratings. That don't matter. Look at all the movies in the past that have been sequels or have been remakes of classic movies. There's been so many remakes of classic movies, and those movies make more money now than they did then. But people always say that the original is always better than the remake or the sequel. But the sequel or the remake is making all this money. They're making all this money. That doesn't mean that they're better. The WWE is outdoing AEW in the ratings. They're making all this money. That don't mean that they're better. I already told you why WWE is still beating AEW in the ratings. It's because of longevity and the farce of sports entertainment turning people off from pro wrestling. Plain and simple. What's going to happen when AEW ends up beating WWE in the overall ratings? Booker T, he's not going to have a fucking leg to stand on. Then he goes, it sounds like a little schoolgirl saying how pretty she is over the other girls in the schoolyard. Correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. T, but didn't Roman Reigns come out back on September 10th in Madison Square Garden? Didn't Roman Reigns come out and he said, well, WWE owns New York City? Meanwhile, Grand Slam was on the way at the end of September on the 22nd, but yet WWE had Roman Reigns go out there and say, oh, WWE owns New York City. And you're telling me that that is not equivalent to what Tony Khan is doing? You're telling me it's not equivalent to what Roman Reigns said when he called AEW little brothers, shitting all over the people that he once shared a fucking locker room with? Or how about when he said that CM Punk lost a step? Are you telling me that that is not equivalent to what Tony Khan did? Seriously. You're telling me that that is not equivalent to what Tony Khan did. If Booker T kept his mouth shut on that, but he's complaining about Tony Khan, it just goes to show you how much of a fucking hypocrite Booker T really is. Because Booker T can't say anything negative about the WWE because he won't get that fucking paycheck at the end of the day. He's not going to be on the pre-show. He's not going to get paid for sitting there on the pre-show and doing nothing. But Tony Khan is in the wrong, but WWE is in the right because they had Roman Reigns go out there and say, oh, WWE owns New York City. And Roman Reigns didn't say anything wrong, but Tony Khan is saying stuff wrong, right? Booker T is a fucking retard. R-E-T-A-R-D. Retard. That's how you spell Booker T. R-E-T-A-R-D. Booker T. Can you dig that, sucker? We ended up having a great turnout. Here, people. And I want to, first off, say that I greatly appreciate each and every single one of you. Hula Grim, you are a fucking beast. You are an absolute beast in every sense of the word. And I greatly appreciate you taking the time out of your day to come and watch me. You have been one of the best supporters that I have had, and we are doing some great shit. We really are doing some great shit, and I am loving what we got going on right here. I just saw that Rob Wells Jr. just shared out the LFU. Thank you very much, Rob Wells Jr. You are a beast. You are a beast. Rob Wells Jr. is a beast, baby. Psycho Dad Jesse, obviously, he's probably still in here. Hope you're doing all right. I hope that Dave Maniscalco, I hope you're doing all right. Thank you once again to the 8 people that are in here chilling with me on this fine Saturday. We got some weekly show reviews to go over. And we're going to start with Monday Night Raw. If you guys have not already liked the stream and shared it out, please do so. We are at 14 likes. We're at 14 likes. It's what I like to see. So please make sure you continue to smash that like button, continue to share it out. We got plenty more to come here on the LFU. And we're going to start by talking about the worst show on television, Monday Night Raw. I could not fucking stand this show. Can't stand the show. Charlotte Flair. And everyone knows what the code is. We already ranted on Charlotte Flair. We're going to be ranting on Charlotte Flair plenty more. We got 2 doses of Charlotte Flair this week. We got once on Raw and once on SmackDown. With that being said, I would like to please invite everyone here to indulge in this code. The code is fuck Charlotte Flair. Fuck Charlotte Flair. Fuck Charlotte Flair, people. Fuck Charlotte Flair and all of her supporters. So Raw kicked off with Charlotte Flair. She asked where the champagne and the balloons are. Where are the thank you Charlotte chants? I got to defend my title against Bianca Belair. This is bullcrap. There's a conspiracy against me. Bianca has 2 title opportunities this week, and you people say that I'm entitled? Bitch. Yeah, you are entitled. You are a self-absorbed, entitled cunt. And you always will be. She said Bianca can't beat this opportunity. Becky couldn't beat you on her own because I am the mountain that you can't climb. So Bianca came out and she said, a conspiracy. Charlotte, this is justice served. I've proved I belonged here, so I deserve this shot tonight. I had you beat before you got saved by big-time Bex. You're throwing a temper tantrum. Baby, it's okay. I'm the EST of WWE, and after tonight, I won't be your problem because you won't even go here anymore. My advice to you, use life struggles to make yourself stronger and a little bit kinder. After Crown Jewel, I'll have the Raw Women's title on one arm and the SmackDown Women's title on the other arm. How's that for a rookie, Charlotte? So they got into a brawl. Bianca then stood tall. I'll say it once and I'll say it again. The overly scripted promos are absolutely destroying. They're fucking destroying the characters on this show. Stop overly scripting the talent. Bianca Belair sounds like a fucking dork. Charlotte Flair has always been AIDS. Stop overly scripting the talent. None of it comes off as genuine. None of it comes off as natural. Charlotte Flair wants to say that Bianca's entitled, and here I thought Carmella was a bimbo after her latest comments on Becky Lynch. I thought Carmella was a fucking bimbo. Holy shit, Charlotte took the cake here. That was the open of Raw. It sucked. Jinder Mahal versus Xavier Woods. This was the King of the Ring semifinals where the winner would go on to face Finn Balor. Woods fell face first on the steps. Coming back from commercial, Woods with a super kick to Mahal. He went for the flying elbow. Mahal caught him with a coloss. Woods was able to grab the rope. Jinder Mahal fell flat as they were on the top rope. Woods with a flying elbow, and Woods advanced to Crown Jewel. Again, I don't understand how, I really don't understand how Jinder Mahal and Xavier Woods are in the tournament over Keith Lee, Cedric Alexander, Shelton Benjamin, Apollo Crews, Austin Theory, Jeff Hardy, Karrion Kross, Humberto Carrillo, Angel Garza. Why are Jinder Mahal and Xavier Woods in the fucking tournament? Mahal can't wrestle to save his life. And Woods, he's already a made man. He should not have been here. So Woods advanced to Crown Jewel to face off against Balor in the King of the Ring finals. Austin Theory versus R-Truth was supposed to take place. R-Truth and Austin Theory had a little exchange in the back. R-Truth said he came out and he didn't accept the challenge for R-Truth. He came to accept the challenge for R-Truth's friend. And out came Jeff Hardy. And what do we get? A rematch! We get a rematch. Oh, by the way, coming up on Monday, we got another rematch because it's a Crown Jewel rematch between AJ Omos and RK Bro. What are the odds? How many times do we need to see it? And how many losses does AJ Styles need to take? I swear to God, AJ Styles is pretty much a glorified enhancement talent. This is the worst that I've ever seen AJ Styles in the entirety of his WWE run. Styles in 2021 has been a complete fucking flop. He is a glorified enhancement talent. Austin Theory and Jeff Hardy. Austin Theory wins with the Fireman's Carry knee smash. And then afterwards, he went to take a selfie with Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy got up. He dropped Theory with a twist of fate. And then he took a picture with Austin Theory laying flat on the mat, writhing in pain. I'd like to hope that they know what they're doing. I like to hope that they know what they're doing with Austin Theory. And I like to hope that they're building up Austin Theory to take the U.S. title from Damian Priest, because that would be a great passing of the torch. Damian Priest, he's building credibility for himself. And Damian Priest is really developing something special with the U.S. title, even though he's not on television right now. I'd like to see him back on television on Raw, but I'd like to hope that Austin Theory is being built up to take that title off of Priest. That would be a great passing of the torch moment, and it would make a new star in Austin Theory. And then Priest can move on to the main championship. Big E and Drew McIntyre versus Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode. The Can They Coexist storyline. Like we haven't seen that one before. Big E and McIntyre win. Big ending to Big Bob. So Big E hit the big ending to Big Bob as Big D watched it go down. And then afterwards, they stood face to face. Big E and Drew shook hands before the match at Crown Jewel. They shared a few words before the segment ended. And that was pretty much that, leading up into the match at Crown Jewel, which, by the way, was great. We'll talk about that. Mansoor versus Cedric Alexander. Inside out neck breaker for the win. Cedric Alexander is a fucking jobber. Ali came out and he goes, "After everything I've done to you, you're still out here smiling like some fanboy. This Thursday in your hometown, I'm going to wipe that smile off your face." Mansoor then took the microphone and he really brought some energy with this promo. He goes, "For once, shut the hell up. Look at me, you piece of trash. Do you see a smile on my face? You're going to see a smile on my face after I beat you senseless and show everyone that you are a poor, sorry excuse for a man." I didn't mind this promo. Matter of fact, I liked it. I like the intensity from Mansoor. Mansoor has a lot of value that I don't think WWE has tapped into yet. Mansoor is great in the ring. Mansoor is fantastic at what he does. So is Ali. And they had a very good match at Crown Jewel, which we will talk about in a little bit. We had Oldberg and Bobby Lashley. Oldberg and Bobby Lashley, they had a face-to-face interview where Goldberg says, "In 72 hours, your ass is mine." Lashley goes, "You'll be begging the Almighty for forgiveness, and you can't kill the Almighty. We're done." Goldberg says, "Kill you Thursday, Bobby." And that was it. RK Bro. RK Bro versus the Street Profits. Riddle and Orton had some really good chemistry with the Street Profits. Matter of fact, I don't know why they're not continuing that program on Monday. Street Profits versus RK Bro, that should be the match. That should be the match for the Raw Tag Team titles going into the future. That's the match I want to see. So, Riddle with a springboard floating bro onto Dawkins on the outside. Ford with a huge tope con hero onto RK Bro. Coming back from commercial, Ford was isolated before Dawkins got the hot tag. He lit up Riddle with a flying back elbow, a stinger splash, and a big power slam. He hit an underhook swinging neck breaker for a 2. Riddle hit the final flash knee strike before Orton and Ford came in. Orton with a swift power slam. Ford sold the hell out of it. Orton went for the draping DDT. He got it before Styles' music hit. Omos came out. Styles came up from behind Randy Orton and gave him the phenomenal forearm, causing the DQ, and AJ and Omos laid waste to all 4 men. What a way to ruin a great match. What a way to ruin a great match with a DQ. And this wasn't the only DQ that Monday Night Raw saw. Leave it to WWE to always ruin a damn good match with a disqualification. It is a fucking joke. So, we had Doudrop. We had Doudrop versus Shayna Baszler. Doudrop versus Shayna Baszler. Queen's Crown Tournament Finals. This didn't even go 3 minutes. Zelina Vega, the sellout Vega, came out to watch the match. She put on the crown and the robe to watch the match as Shayna Baszler put Doudrop in the Karafuda clutch. Doudrop was trying to roll around and get out of it. Doudrop rolled on her back. And Doudrop pinned Shayna Baszler in less than 3 minutes to win. Whatever credibility, whatever little credibility that Shayna Baszler had is dead. Dead. It's dead. It's dead. It will never, ever, ever be looked at the same. Shayna Baszler is a fucking joke. I really wish she would just walk. I really do. I wish she would just walk. It's not worth it for Shayna Baszler. It really isn't. It isn't. So now we got Doudrop and fucking Zelina Vega in the finals of the Queen's Crown Tournament. We had Mace, Disgrace versus Finn Balor. Finn Balor won with the coup de grace. Mace, I'm telling you right now, Mace is going to be wished luck in his future endeavors in a few months. I do not see Mace sticking around. Mace is going to be gone. Bianca Belair versus Charlotte Flair. I don't even want to go over this. I really don't. I'm going to be quiet. I don't even want to fucking review this. A great match ruined. Great match ruined by a shit ending. Bianca went for Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair used a chair, caused the DQ before Bianca took the chair and hit Charlotte with it, and Bianca stood tall. And now we go to Friday after what happened at Crown Jewel, and we go to the Championship Exchange. Charlotte Flair sucks. That was Monday Night Raw. That was Monday Night Raw. I didn't give a shit. I did not give a shit. I didn't care. It was an absolute joke. I greatly appreciate each and every single one of you for sticking around. You guys have been great. You guys have been great, even though we didn't really start off too well. It has been a great stream. You guys have been kicking ass all afternoon long. We are at 15 likes, people. 15! We are just 5 likes away, baby. 5 likes away from 20. So people, if you are here and you have not liked the stream, be sure to like the stream. And of course, you gotta share it out on all platforms, social media. Please do so. We got 4 more shows to dissect, and then we're going to get on out of here and we can enjoy our Saturdays. So NXT was really nothing. It was pretty lackluster. I didn't give a shit. Most of these matches didn't even surpass 5 minutes outside of the main event. I didn't care. Next week looks okay. Halloween Havoc looks okay. There's 4 title matches on the show, so hopefully we get a semi-decent show for Halloween Havoc. We'll see what happens there, but NXT was not very good. Not very good at all. So Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams kicked off the show. Trick Williams was hyping up Carmelo. Melo said 4.5 months ago, I stepped up and I had the same energy. I proved that I am the final boss. Last week, I pulled a swerve on Swerve himself. When I shoot, I don't miss. And from this point on, I'm calling the shots. I'm the leader of the new school. And this is the A championship. And I don't care if the fans got a problem with it. I said what I said. So Johnny Gargano came out. And he said, the energy in the room just changed. Carmelo Hayes, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Johnny Gargano. And I've had my eye on you. This is a good time, right? I've been having a lot of fun with bachelor parties, weddings, and honeymoons, but I lost my way. I think what's next for Johnny Gargano would be to go back to doing what I do, what I was put on this earth to do. What do you say, Mr. A Champion? Why don't you take a shot at me? Trick Williams then mocked Indy Hartwell for being in Melo's DMs. Gargano goes, yeah, that's my daughter, and that's my son-in-law. So Dexter Lumis was right behind Johnny Gargano, and Johnny and Lumis sent Melo and Trick Williams packing. I'm not going to lie, this wasn't a bad segment. This wasn't a bad segment at all. And I actually like the dynamic between Lumis and Johnny. I think they have a very nice makeup. They have the makeup of an oddball pairing that you actually enjoy. They're kind of like RK Bro, but a little more serious. They're kind of like RK Bro, but more serious. I didn't mind this segment. Lumis, I'm a big fan of. Gargano, I'm a big fan of. Carmelo, he's great in the ring. He just needs to get better on the microphone. And on top of that, a match between Carmelo and Johnny, I mean, I'm not going to complain about that. If they're given the proper amount of time, that right there is going to be a great fucking match. No joke. So, that was a decent segment. Didn't really mind that. Andre Chase versus Odyssey Jones. Jones wins with a big splash. Jones is coming along. I will say that. Odyssey Jones is really coming along. Andre Chase is fucking terrible. He is absolutely fucking terrible. I don't know why the fuck he is even on television. He is an absolute fucking joke. Get him off of TV. The Creed brothers of Diamond Mine, they took on Imperium. Imperium ended up winning. Because Ikiman Jiro and Kushida came out to attack Diamond Mine, and Bartel rolled up Julius Creed for the win. Afterwards, MSK came out to attack Imperium. Wesley with a big tope con hero onto Imperium, and they threw out the challenge for a match next week. Nash Carter, I thought this was a great moment right here. He said, we'll see you next week. Happy Halloween, bitches. I didn't mind this either, but the crowd is not really taken to MSK, and that is not MSK's fault. That just has to do with the fact that they were pushed way too quickly, and the tag team division really isn't anything special in NXT. Von Wagner and Kyle O'Reilly, they were in the wilderness, in the woods, working out, carrying tree branches, doing pull-ups on tree bark. And then Wagner and Kyle O'Reilly had a bonfire. They had a bonfire in the woods. Wagner gave Kyle O'Reilly a beer, and O'Reilly said, if we are on the same page, we can cause a lot of damage. Wagner said, let's kick some ass. Call me crazy, but I don't mind this at all. I don't. I think that this segment wasn't bad at all. Von Wagner and Kyle O'Reilly, I don't know what it is, but the vibe that I got from this segment, it felt very relatable. I don't know if you guys felt it, but it felt rather relatable because two guys that have a mutual respect for each other, having a bonfire in the wilderness and drinking cold ones, that right there, that sounds like the life to me. That sounds like the life to me. I would want to be in the wilderness with a bonfire, having a cold one with someone I care about. I think that's very, very genuine. I think that in time, Von Wagner and Kyle O'Reilly, if they keep this up, I think that they could very well be a tag team that the crowd could genuinely get behind. Lord knows that they need tag teams in NXT. And Kyle O'Reilly, he's going nowhere as a singles guy. Him being paired with Von Wagner, I'm not sure if you got this vibe, but it almost looks like a Shawn Michaels Diesel combo. Not in terms of in-ring talent, but in terms of the look. In terms of the look and the makeup, it looks like a Shawn Michaels Diesel combination. So I did not mind this. Von Wagner and Kyle O'Reilly as a tag team, I don't know. It just feels genuine. It feels relatable. And if done right, I think they could be a very good tag team that the crowd could genuinely get behind. Von Wagner is a terrible name, and Kyle O'Reilly as a babyface is terrible, but I feel like they complement each other. There's something there. There's something there. So I did not mind this. I didn't mind it at all. Legado del Fantasma was in the ring. Escobar said, I've always been blessed with luck, but not last week. Carmelo walked out to the ring last week, and he left as North American champion. You lucky son of a bitch. He goes, but me and Senorita Luck will find you. So Elektra Lopez was going to speak before Cora Jade came out, and we get a match. Cora Jade won with a roll-up, but Lopez actually got the shoulder up. This looked terrible. How the fuck are we supposed to see what Cora Jade can do if you don't have her do anything but a fucking roll-up? And a botched one at that. This was terribly booked. Persia Parada, JC Jane, and Io Shirai. And the winner gets to spin the wheel next week for the tag team title match. So JC Jane nearly fucking killed herself on a fucking dive. She got caught up in the ropes. I hope she's okay. Shirai came in with a moonsault onto both women. JC Jane actually had to be taken away. She had to be taken away. The landing did not look good at all. So I'm not sure what happened to her. I'm not sure if she hit her head or she broke her leg, but it did not look good at all. Persia Parada, I will tell you what. Persia Parada looked very good. Persia Parada actually looked very, very impressive here against Io Shirai. She delivered a very nice sit-out powerbomb. Shirai came in with a 619 and a missile dropkick. Shirai then with a German suplex and a big moonsault for the win. Nice little decent back and forth between Persia Pirotta and Io Shirai. She spun the wheel and it landed on a Stairway to Hell ladder match. So I actually don't mind that. I think that's going to be a great fucking match. We got 6 women. And I know for a fact, Io Shirai is going to do some crazy shit. Io Shirai is going to do some crazy shit. She's going to do something crazy that's out of her fucking mind. I'm actually looking forward to seeing what they do next week. I'm actually looking forward to it. We had Ru Fang versus Tony D'Angelo. Tony D'Angelo, I like it. I like what Tony D'Angelo's doing. Tony D'Angelo, he won with a Northern Lights suplex into a fisherman neckbreaker combo. Let's see where Tony D'Angelo goes. I think he's going to be a great fucking heel for Von Wagner. Not Von Wagner. Braun Breaker. Same fucking shit. Von Wagner, Braun Breaker. They sound the fucking same. They're both equally terrible. But I think after Braun Breaker inevitably wins the NXT Championship, I think Tony D'Angelo is going to be a very, very, very good heel for Braun Breaker to work with. And I think that Tony D'Angelo is going to be NXT champion sooner rather than later. Legado del Fantasma, they attacked Josh Briggs and Brooks Jensen before their tag team match. They ended up having the tag team match, and Legado del Fantasma won with the Enziguri Russian leg sweep combo. That was pretty much that. LA Knight defeated Grayson Waller with the BFT, and he's going to be the host of Halloween Havoc. Next week, aside from the Stairway to Hell ladder match, we also got the Usos' cousin, Solo Sikoa. He arrives next week. We also got Raquel Gonzalez versus Mandy Rose, NXT Women's Championship, spin the wheel, make the deal. We got MSK versus Imperium, NXT Tag Team titles, spin the wheel, make the deal. And then we got Braun Breaker taking on Tommaso Ciampa for the NXT Championship. And then in the main event, we had Tommaso Ciampa versus Bronathan Breaker. I think I'm going to call him that from here on out. Braun Breaker and Tommaso Ciampa taking on the Grizzled Young Veterans. Braun Breaker ended up winning with the Steiner Recliner, the military press into the Power Slam. Ciampa came back, looked directly in Braun Breaker's face, and they stared down as the show went off the air. And that was NXT. Nothing to invest your time in. And after Halloween Havoc, I'm going back to not reviewing NXT at all, because NXT is a waste of time. That was the NXT review. We got 3 more shows to go over. We're going to talk about Crown Jewel, AEW fan, a.k.a. Chris. You are the man. Thank you very much for joining. I greatly appreciate you. Apparently, Hooligrim is a part of the Von Wagner World Order. I miss NXT too, brother. I know. I miss NXT too. We got 16 likes. 16 motherfucking likes. You guys are fucking amazing. You guys are fucking amazing. You guys are fucking bringing it. You guys are bringing it, baby. And I absolutely love it. I love it. I greatly appreciate each and every single one of you. You guys have been the lifeline of DJ Storms. And you guys have been absolutely the best supporters that I could possibly have ever asked for. I greatly appreciate it. And I got plenty more to come here before we get on out of here. So we got Crown Jewel. And I was actually pleasantly surprised with Crown Jewel. I was pleasantly surprised with Crown Jewel and what came out of it. We had a very, very, very low bar being set for not only Crown Jewel, but WWE in general. A very, very low bar being set for Crown Jewel and WWE in general. I know that a lot of these shows don't really produce great television. I know a lot of these shows don't produce things that we want to invest our time in. I know a lot of these shows, especially with WWE, they don't give a they really don't. They don't resonate with the fans, but I'll tell you what. Crown Jewel was actually a very good show. I'm not even lying. If you didn't watch it, you got to go out to watch it. This show was a very, very, very good wrestling show. It was perhaps the best Saudi Arabian event that they've ever done. The crowd was hot. It was better than WrestleMania. It was better than SummerSlam. Dare I say that this was probably the second best pay-per-view of the whole year, right behind the Royal Rumble. Crown Jewel was very, very good. I'm not even lying. I know a lot of people may feel otherwise, but let me tell you something. I've always been known for calling a spade a spade. I'm not going to bullshit you. I give credit where credit is due. Crown Jewel was very good. Crown Jewel was very good. And if WWE put half of the effort that they put into Crown Jewel into all of their shows, a lot less people would stop complaining. Crown Jewel was a very, very good show. And if you didn't go out of your way to watch it, you got to go out of your way to watch it. You got to go out of your way to watch it. Outside of Zelina and Doudrop, the show was very, very good. We had a lot of great wrestling on the show. Now, I know that we were lucky to get a halfway decent show, mainly because of the fact that WWE is just complete shit altogether, but I will give credit where credit's due. They put on a good show. For one night, at least. We had the pre-show. Pre-show started off with the Usos versus Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin. This was a good match. Really didn't mean much of anything. This was pretty much the pre-show match to get the crowd hyped up. Really didn't mean anything. Really wasn't all that interesting, but I'm really not going to complain if these four individuals are wrestling. They put on a damn good match. It went about 11 minutes. It was a decent match to kick off the pre-show. I do hope one day in the future that we do actually get a more important match between these two teams, because these two teams, they actually were working very well together. This was a decent match to kick off the pre-show. The Usos, they were isolated by Benjamin and Cedric. Cedric caught Jay, I believe it was, with a rising knee. He kicked out. He was isolated before Jimmy got the hot tag with a big slam on Cedric. Jimmy then with a running hip attack for a 2. Benjamin came in with a knee to the face. Cedric followed up with a brainbuster, deadlift brainbuster for a 2. Jimmy kicked out. Benjamin with another knee and an Olympic slam, but Jay broke up the cover. Cedric came in with a beautiful-looking neuralizer on Jay. Jay with a super kick to Cedric. Benjamin with a super kick to Jay. And Jimmy with a super kick to Benjamin. Benjamin came in with a pay dirt. Very nice sequence right there. And Benjamin covered Jimmy. Jimmy kicked out. The Usos then with a super kick party to Benjamin and Cedric. And Jay hit an Uso splash on Cedric. And the Usos win. Good match. But ultimately, it meant nothing in the end because this was merely just a match to get the crowd hyped up for what was to come on the main show. The Usos get the win. I'm actually happy that they did. I was concerned that they were going to give the Hurt Business the win just because of the fact that they love having champions lose in non-title matches, but they gave the Usos the win as they should, and the Usos beat the Hurt Business in a decent match to kick off the pre-show. Main show started off with a match of the year candidate. And I kid you not, Edge and Seth Rollins, Hell in a Cell, was fucking phenomenal. Please go out of your way to watch it if you did not watch it. Both of these men absolutely beat the ever-living shit out of each other. They beat the ever-living shit out of each other. And this feud, as I said from the beginning, this feud had undoubtedly been the best feud in all of WWE on the main roster all year. I wish all feuds were like this. I really do. Edge and Seth Rollins, they've been working very well together. And what I love is every single match that they've had, it was better than the last. The second match was better than SummerSlam. The third match was better than both. I love how they constantly want to outdo each other. It's like they genuinely thought to themselves, you know what? We're going to give back to the fans for waiting so long for this feud. With how good this feud was, you would think they're fighting over the Universal Championship. This feud was great. And this Hell in a Cell match was awesome. Rollins has been awesome in this feud with Edge. Edge has been awesome. Edge probably the most successful individual to make a name for himself and come back even better. Edge is better. Edge is absolutely doing the best work of his career. Edge may have put on one of the best matches of his career with this match. It was great. So Edge was in control early on. Rollins came back with a sling blade. Edge came back with a big dropkick, sending Rollins into the cell. Rollins was then locked in the crossface, and he used a piece of the steel chair to get out of it by stabbing Edge in the eye. Rollins with a rolling elbow into a chair. Edge was down. Rollins hit a big frog splash for a 2. Edge was down. Rollins set up a table on the floor. Rollins came in and delivered an unprettier to Edge. That got a 2 count. So Rollins then went for a Phoenix splash, but Edge shoved him off the top rope. Rollins hit the cell, and he ricocheted off the cell and fell through the table that he set up. Looked fucking amazing. Great spot right there. Edge then put him back in the ring and pinned him, but Rollins kicked out. Edge then brought in the bottom of the steel steps, delivered an Edge-O-Matic to Rollins on the steps. Rollins then came back with a pedigree. Edge kicked out. Rollins was then caught in the stomp attempt. Edge caught him with a buckle bomb, and he hit a spear, but Rollins kicked out of the spear. Edge then brought in a table and a ladder, and he set up the ladder in the corner before Rollins whipped him into the ladder. Then Rollins set up Edge on the table. He went up top on the ladder. Edge followed suit. Rollins wore down Edge and delivered a sunset flip powerbomb off the ladder, through the table. It looked brutal. Edge still kicked out. Rollins at this point became unhinged. He brought out a toolbox. He super kicked Edge a few times. And then all of a sudden, he wrapped a chain around his foot. And I actually love this. He super kicked Edge with the chain wrapped around his foot. And then he put Edge on a steel chair, and he was going to stomp Edge into the chair with his foot wrapped around the chain. Rollins went for the stomp. Edge stuck the chair up, and it hit Rollins right in the balls. To which point, Edge then applied a crossface with a monkey wrench, but he let go, and instead, he ended it with a stomp. Looked sloppy, but it was a stomp on the chair, and he pins Rollins for the win. Awesome fucking match. Proper way to end the feud. This was probably the first Hell in a Cell match in about 6 years that actually made sense. This was a great match. This was an awesome fucking match. And this right here was a fucking fantastic way to kick off the show. I was shocked by the outcome. Crowd was hot for it. I was shocked by the outcome, mainly because of the fact that I didn't think that Edge was going to stick around. Now, could he stick around? Potentially. But every single time I think that Edge is going away, he ends up sticking around. So apparently, we could very well see Edge stick around. Maybe we build towards Edge versus Big E at the next pay-per-view after Survivor Series, and Big E gets a new challenger. I definitely wouldn't mind that. I definitely wouldn't mind that at all. Edge and Big E, that sounds like a great match. Big E certainly is not shy of challengers on Monday Night Raw. And Edge going up against Big E, and Big E defeating Edge and retaining the championship over Edge, that would be a great way to help enhance Big E. So Edge versus Big E, I would not mind it. And I do not mind Edge sticking around. I really don't. This was an awesome, awesome Hell in a Cell match. Match of the night by far. Mansoor, he took on Mustafa Ali. I have been an advocate for Mustafa Ali ever since that 2 out of 3 falls match with Drew Gulak back on 205 Live in the middle of 2017. I've been a big advocate for Mustafa Ali. He's fantastic, and he deserves a hell of a lot more than what he's been given. Mansoor is fantastic. Mansoor is someone that I didn't really see anything in. He got the tryout in Saudi Arabia, and he became a superstar. He became a superstar in NXT, and he's really shown everyone that the guy behind the Saudi Arabian vibe that a lot of people got. He's a great pro wrestler. He really is. Man, Mansoor is a great professional wrestler. And this was a very good match. I did not think that they were going to follow up Edge and Rollins very, very well, but they worked their asses off and they put on a very good match for the 10 minutes that it went. So it was very slow and technical to start off. Mansoor got tripped up. He got tripped up on the apron. He landed back first. Ali tried to wear down Mansoor. Ali then with a beautiful tornado DDT on Mansoor for a 2. Ali then called Mansoor a loser as he kicked him. Mansoor mounted a comeback with a nice step-up enziguri, an atomic drop, and a spine buster. Mansoor then hit a huge lariat on Ali, turning him inside out. Mansoor went for a dive, but Ali caught him with an enziguri mid-suicide dive. Ali then, he got caught with a belly-to-belly by Mansoor into the corner. Mansoor with a picture-perfect fucking moonsault. Picture-perfect fucking moonsault. Mansoor. But he injured his neck. He injured his neck on the moonsault. Ali was able to kick out of the moonsault, and he locked in the Koji clutch. Mansoor was able to get to the ropes. Ali broke the hold. Ali went up to the top, and he went for a 450. He missed the 450, and Mansoor caught him with an inside-out neck breaker, and Mansoor pins Mustafa Ali, and Mansoor gets the win in his hometown. Now, this was a very good match, but I don't see these two being broken up for very long. I don't see these two lasting very, very long apart. I really don't, because they're better together than they are separately. I just have this gut feeling that WWE merely did this. They merely did this just to get Mansoor his obligatory match on the Crown Jewel card. Because you know how they always want to make Mansoor out to be a big deal on these Saudi shows, so they just put him in a match on the show. Mansoor did this, and Mansoor and Ali were in this match simply because of the fact that WWE wanted to give Mansoor his obligatory match on the Saudi Arabian show. That was pretty much it. I don't see this breakup lasting very much longer. I see them getting back together in a few weeks. Ali then attacked Mansoor after the match. All of a sudden, a cloaked figure wearing a Saudi Arabian turban came out to hip-hop music. Ali was confused. It turned out to be Taray Hamidi, a silver medalist karate individual in the Tokyo Olympics. He knocked Ali out with a swift roundhouse kick to the face. Why exactly did this need to happen? Have you not embarrassed Ali enough? Have you not buried this man enough? Have you not just shit all over this man enough? He's already the biggest fucking jobber in all of WWE. He's already the biggest fucking jobber, not named, who else? He's the biggest fucking jobber, not named Zelina Vega. He's the biggest fucking jobber, not named Zelina Vega. So why exactly is Ali in a position where he's getting knocked out by a silver medalist karate guy that competed in the Tokyo Olympics? I don't understand. If there's one guy that I wish would walk, it's Ali. Ali does not deserve that. I don't know who the fuck Ali pissed off. I don't know why the fuck they continuously do this to Ali, but it is absolutely disgusting. It really is. Very good match. Tarnished. Ali's been pinned by Veer, by fucking Jinder Mahal, by fucking, who else? Fucking Mansoor, Omos. Ali is a fucking jobber. He really is. It's just sad to see. I want better from Mustafa Ali. I really do. RK Bro versus AJ Styles and Omos. This is for the Raw Tag Team titles. This was the third match on the show. Riddle, he came riding in on a fucking camel. He came riding in on a camel to the ring as the crowd, and here's something that I love. The crowd was singing Randy Orton's theme song. When that verse came on in the chorus where the song said, "They talk to me," the crowd was screaming, "They talk to me." I thought that was great. It almost felt like I was watching an AEW show. The crowd was singing Randy Orton's theme song while Riddle was riding to the ring on a fucking camel. That was great. It's great. It was awesome. Why aren't the Raw crowds like this? This Saudi Arabian crowd was better than every single Monday Night Raw crowd this year since live fans came back. Man, Monday Night Raw crowds here in the United States, you should take some lessons from Saudi Arabia. They were lively. They were singing fucking Orton's theme song as Matt Riddle was riding to the ring on a fucking camel. That was great. We need more of that. So the crowd was singing Orton's theme song, which was fucking awesome. Riddle and Orton, they isolated Styles before Omos tagged in. Orton came in. Omos dared him to hit him. Omos isolated Orton before Riddle and Styles came in. Riddle mounted a comeback against Styles. Styles with a swift combo. Riddle with a final flash knee. Orton got the tag. He had a power slam and a draping DDT attempt, but Omos got up on the apron. Riddle and Orton then took out Omos. Styles then springboarded himself into an RKO. He springboarded himself into an RKO. It looked beautiful, actually. And then after the RKO, Riddle went up to the top and he delivered a floating bro. Riddle delivered the floating bro, and they pinned AJ and Omos to retain the tag team titles. Yet we are getting this match again. We are getting this match again on Monday Night Raw. I don't know why. The match itself at Crown Jewel wasn't terrible, but it was pretty much the same match from SummerSlam. Pretty much the same match from SummerSlam. I didn't really give a shit. I didn't really care. So, after that, they celebrated. I'd like to hope that after Monday, this feud is really over. The feud's really over, and we are going to get the Street Profits versus RK Bro. I'd love to see the Street Profits versus RK Bro. I'd love to see the Hurt Business versus RK Bro. RK Bro and their tag team title reign, I feel as though it hasn't even gotten started. And a match with Street Profits, match with the Hurt Business, that could really, really, really help their title reign. And that could really tap into a side of Orton that I don't think we've seen, because Randy Orton really, really genuinely looks like he's having fun out there. He looks like he's having fun, and I like that. I'll tell you what was not fun, though. Zelina Vega and Doudrop, Queen's Crown Tournament Finals. This match was fucking terrible. This match was absolutely fucking terrible. And it was fucking pathetic. It was fucking pathetic that this match was even considered for the show. The Queen's Crown Tournament was a fucking waste of time. And they gave it to fucking Zelina Vega, of all people. I'm going to let you guys in on a secret. Do you know why Zelina Vega won this match? You know why? 2 words. Malachi Black. WWE, and how petty they really are, they decided to have Malachi Black watch as Zelina Vega won the Queen's Crown tournament, the Queen of the Ring, and his wife was crowned queen, so that way they can shove it in Malachi Black's face because, we're gonna push your wife and show you that we find much more value in her than we do you. I don't see you walking around with a fucking crown. Look at what your wife did. You see, this is what we're gonna do with your wife because you couldn't cut it here, but your wife can cut it. Nothing more than fucking pettiness towards Malachi Black. I don't ever want to see another Queen's Crown tournament ever again. This should have never even been a thought. This should have never been a thought. This should have never even been a conception in anyone's mind. How are you going to have a Queen's Crown tournament, yet you leave out Shotzi, you leave out Xia Li, you leave out Dakota Kai, you leave out fucking Tegan Nox, you have Toni Storm, fucking Toni Storm lose to Zelina Vega in 3 minutes. This tournament was terrible, and this match was equally as terrible. Zelina Vega wins with the code red, which was the only decent thing in this fucking match. Code red, and Zelina Vega wins a worthless tournament. She's not getting a title shot. All she's going to do is walk around with a shitty ass queen gimmick. Same thing with the King of the Ring winner as well. That tournament was terrible as well. Zelina Vega is the Spanish version of Alexa Bliss. She should be nowhere near a ring. She should be nowhere near anything regarding the term pro wrestling. She should be a manager and a manager only. Plain and simple. This was a terrible fucking match. And if this match wasn't on the card, I would say it would be a damn near perfect show. Bobby Lashley versus Oldberg. No holds barred, falls count anywhere match. I'm not going to lie. This was not as terrible as I expected. Goldberg in this match was actually tolerable. He was actually tolerable. I'm not even bullshitting. I feel as though it had something to do with the no holds barred, falls count anywhere stipulation, because that really kind of masked Goldberg's lack of ability. That kind of masked Goldberg's lack of ability, and there was some decent looking spots in this match. I did not mind this match. Now, that still doesn't change the fact that Goldberg should not be in a wrestling ring in any way, shape, or form. But the match itself was not overly horrendous. I will say that. So, Lashley snuck a chain in the ring. He wrapped it around his fist, and he ended up punching Goldberg with it. Lashley then used a chair against Goldberg. He brought out a table and set it up in the corner. Lashley then wrapped a chair around Goldberg's knee. He wrapped the chair around Goldberg's knee and stomped on it. Goldberg was then writhing in pain before Lashley set him up in the corner, and he went for a... Look at this fucking loser. Look at this fucking loser, Cameron Johnson. Hey, Cameron, you absolute piece of shit. Get blocked. Get blocked. I'm bullshitting, Cameron. I'm bullshitting, Cameron. Cameron, you are a fucking pussy. You know what I go through on a daily basis and the comments that I get? Yeah, you get your fucking panties in a bunch because I called you an unintelligent wrestling fan. Boy, you haven't even woken up to what the real world is. And on top of that, the only reason you're mad is because I'm right. You are exactly what I say you are, Cameron. Okay? Maybe if you put just a little bit of effort into other aspects of your life, rather than putting your effort into messaging me on Instagram, trying to be petty towards me because I embarrassed you, maybe, just maybe, you'd be halfway as successful as I am. Who's the guy? Who's the guy with the full-time job here? Who's the guy that has people listening to him? Who's the guy that actually has a fan base that's intelligent, all right? Go fuck yourself, Cameron. Shame on me for ever associating with a fucking idiot like you. I don't associate with stupid people, Cameron. If I wanted stupid, I'd go for your girlfriend. Oh, wait, you don't have one. Fuck out of here. Got me heated. Got me fucking heated. Anyway, where was I? I apologize, people. I apologize. Oh, yeah, that's right. Here we go. Goldberg sidestepped Lashley. Goldberg sidestepped Lashley, and Lashley put himself through the table. So Goldberg, he hyped himself up, and Goldberg hit a big spear to Lashley, and I was actually fearful of what was to come. Goldberg, he went for the jackhammer, and he actually got Lashley up, and he held him there. Goldberg actually delivered a very nice-looking jackhammer. He delivered a very nice-looking jackhammer, and it was very, very flush. He did not go for the cover. Instead, he took the gloves off. He then delivered a spear to Lashley through the barricade. Goldberg then continued the assault by putting Lashley on the bottom steps, and he was looking to take the steps and crush Lashley's skull. Lashley moved out of the way. Lashley was crawling up the ramp as Goldberg was stalking him. Goldberg then saw Cedric and Shelton of the Hurt Business come up. They had kendo sticks. They went for it. And Goldberg took out Shelton with a big boot, and he took out Cedric with a back body drop. Actually looked very good. So after that, Goldberg then tossed a kendo stick at Lashley, and he had a kendo stick in his hand, and it was like two gladiators going at it. So Goldberg then hit Lashley with the kendo stick. He snapped the kendo stick in half, and then he was staring as Lashley was right by the ramp. Goldberg, with a spear off the stage, through the tables, and he pins Lashley for the 1, 2, 3. This was not as terrible as I expected. It was actually fairly tolerable, and I did not mind this at all. And I thought that these two actually redeemed themselves from their SummerSlam match. I didn't think this was bad at all. Now, that still does not change the fact. That at the end of all of this, Goldberg should not be anywhere near a pro wrestling ring in 2021 at all. Unfortunately, I got some bad news. Unfortunately, I don't know why. I have a feeling. I have this gut feeling. I don't know why. I have this gut feeling that they're going to put Goldberg up against Roman Reigns at some point in the next year because he has one match left on his contract. And Roman, he's obviously running out of challengers. Roman is running out of challengers. So at the end of it all, I don't know. I don't see Goldberg facing anyone else but Roman Reigns, unfortunately. But the match itself wasn't terrible. The match itself was a lot better than I expected it to be. King of the Ring finals. Xavier Woods versus Finn Balor. Xavier Woods versus Finn Balor. This wasn't a bad match. This wasn't a bad match at all. But I don't know. I just can't get behind this. I can't get behind. I don't know how anyone can get behind this after the just complete the complete disrespect that WWE has shown this King of the Ring tournament. So both men were feeling each other out early on. Finn came in with the Eye of the Hurricane for a 2. Woods then came back with a big super kick for a 2. With a nice combo with Woods hitting vicious punches and chops. Then we had Finn with the Pele kick. Finn then kicked out of a small package. Finn went for the coup de grace, but Woods, he cut himself off on the top and delivered a big superplex for a 2. Woods then nearly hit the diving elbow before Balor got the knees up. He hit a sling blade, a drop kick, but the coup de grace missed. Coup de grace missed. He hit a roll-up. Balor kicked out. Woods with an enziguri. Woods then with a modified gutbuster and the diving elbow, and Xavier Woods wins King of the Ring. Listen, I'm sorry to inform all of you. But this was a terrible fucking outcome. The match was fine. The match was good, but the outcome was fucking terrible. I'm sorry. Let me explain something to everyone here. Xavier Woods is not worthy of being King of the Ring because Xavier Woods is already a made man. Xavier Woods is already a bona fide Hall of Famer as a member of the New Day. Xavier Woods is a top merch seller. Xavier Woods is a 11-time tag team champion. Why is Xavier Woods in the tournament when he's already established? Why is it that you couldn't have given this spot to a Keith Lee? Or how about a Karrion Kross? Maybe a Cedric Alexander. Maybe an Angel Garza. Maybe an Apollo Crews. But no, Xavier Woods needs this tournament. He needs the tournament win, and he needs to be in the tournament just because he's pitched it to WWE Creative. I don't give a shit who pitched it. Finn Balor would have been the proper winner, and you should have given Finn Balor a world title opportunity against Big E after the Survivor Series. I do not want to see. There should never be another King of the Ring ever again until WWE gets it right. King of the Ring should be 16 men, giving those like Keith Lee, Karrion Kross, Austin Theory, and Apollo Crews, and Cedric, and Shelton, and Angel Garza, and Humberto Carrillo, and some guys from NXT. King of the Ring should not be a tournament where you give established superstars like Kofi and Woods, or people that can't even wrestle like fucking Jinder Mahal. King of the Ring should be a tournament to establish people that have not yet been established. 16 men, opportunities with individuals that have not gotten the opportunities, and above all else, the royalty gimmicks need to die. The royalty gimmicks need to die. The royalty gimmicks need to go away forever. Give the winner a world title shot. Winner gets world title shots. The winner does not get a royalty gimmick. World title shot. Until then, there should never be another King of the Ring ever again. WWE has absolutely fucking ruined the concept. WWE's absolutely ruined the fucking concept of King of the Ring. They've ruined the concept of Royal Rumble, Elimination Chamber, WrestleMania, Survivor Series, Hell in a Cell. They've ruined literally every good concept that they've had. Nothing in WWE warrants even 1 ounce of excitement. What is Woods going to do with this King of the Ring? He's going to take it. He will do nothing with it. He's going to parade around in a crown and a robe, and he's going to fight the Usos along with Kofi for the SmackDown Tag Team titles at some point. Like, we haven't seen that one before, right? Fucking terrible. Really is. The match was good. The ending was terrible. I'll tell you what was a great match overall. Big E and Drew McIntyre. Big E and Drew McIntyre. I was very, very interested in seeing what Big E and Drew McIntyre could do. And they killed it. They brought their fucking A game. If there was a second match that I would say go out of your way to watch, go out of your way to watch Big E versus Drew McIntyre. It was excellent. Went about 14 minutes, and they were all action right from the word go. There was not a dull moment in this match. There was not a single point in this match where it was slow. There was not a single point in this match where it was boring. These guys fucking brought it. They brought it. So, Drew was in control early on with a huge belly-to-belly suplex on the floor. Drew then hit a spine buster, very nice spine buster for a 2 count on Big E. Big E came back with a belly-to-belly, but Drew countered his running splash with a belly-to-belly of his own and a big neck breaker. Big E then ended up hitting a big splash, which got a 2 count on Drew. Drew came back with a very beautiful-looking Michinoku driver for a 2. Big E, he reversed the Claymore into a powerbomb, and then he locked in a stretch muffler. Drew was able to reverse the stretch muffler. Big E shoved him away. He hit the big ending, but Drew McIntyre kicked out, which was a great, great near fall. Then we had Big E going up to the middle rope. He was looking for a big ending from the middle rope. Drew McIntyre, then with a bulldog off the middle rope, Big E kicked out. Drew, he got back in the ring as Big E was going for the big spear through the ropes. Drew McIntyre with a vicious-looking Claymore. Vicious-looking Claymore. Big E just kicked out. Big E becomes only the third man to kick out of the Claymore. I'd say that's definitely a big, big accomplishment for Big E because the Claymore has been very, very protected. So Big E then reversed a second Claymore, and he hit a second big ending. And Big E retains the WWE Championship, and Drew McIntyre walked away, giving a thumbs up to Big E. This was a very, very good match. They did not disappoint. I was very, very pleased with what we saw here with Big E and Drew McIntyre. And I will say this, Big E's WWE Championship reign has not been bad whatsoever. It has not been bad at all. His match with Lashley was very good. His match with Drew was very good. I doubt that they're going to keep this up, but I will tell you what. These two worked very, very well together, and I would love to see a second match between these two down the line because these two beat the shit out of each other in this match. Wasn't the match of the night, but it was damn good for what it was. Very, very, very good. Sasha Banks versus Bianca Belair versus Becky Lynch. This was a triple threat match for the SmackDown Women's Championship. And these two women brought it. This was a great triple threat match. And I was very, very pleased to see that they gave these two women enough time. I believe this was the second longest match of the night. It went about 20 minutes. And these two women probably put on the best Saudi Arabian match in all of women's wrestling history thus far. This match was not bad whatsoever. So, Belair used Sasha as a weapon against Becky. And we saw Banks. She got military pressed on, or by Bianca Belair. Sasha got military pressed by Bianca Belair, and it was only with one hand, which looked very, very impressive. So Becky then took out Sasha Banks. Becky was then locked in a bank statement. Belair broke that one up. Belair then went for the KOD. Becky hit a missile drop kick for a 2 count on Bianca. Becky then with a guillotine leg drop to Sasha for a 2. The crowd chanted, "This is awesome." The crowd was actually chanting along with Sasha Banks' theme song as well, which was another great portion of the show. The crowd was hyped. So the crowd chanted, "This is awesome." Becky was tossed into the turnbuckle by both women. Bianca and Sasha then had a nice back and forth with Sasha hitting the 3 amigos before she got taken out. Becky then was caught with a spine buster for a 2. Lynch then with a gut buster. Becky then with a roll-up. Bianca then hit a deadlift vertical suplex on Lynch, and then she took out Sasha. She missed the handspring moonsault. We had a disarmor and bank statement at the same time on Bianca. They broke the hold, and then Sasha had a bank statement on Becky. Springboard moonsault by Bianca, breaking up the submission hold. That got a 2 count on Becky. Becky then with the manhandle slam, shitty-looking rock bottom. Belair saved the match. Banks had Belair tied up before Becky then hit a dive off the announce table, taking out both women. Becky then with a double disarmor. Both women powered out of it, but Bianca had Sasha on her back, and she was powering up Becky Lynch. So Belair, she looked great there. Sasha then hit a backstabber to Belair, and then Becky hit a spin kick. Bianca with the KOD. Sasha and Bianca, counter for counter, they continued to brawl before Becky rolled up Sasha and held the ropes to retain the title. Thus, we get the title exchange that we got on SmackDown, which was absolutely fucking terrible. But the match here was great. I will say that. The match here was great. The match here was very, 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 very solid, and I was very, very impressed with what we saw here. So, we then got Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar. Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar. This was for the WWE Universal Championship. This was a very good match. I wish I could have seen them go a little bit longer, but for the time that they got, they did very well. It was not better than their WrestleMania 31 match. That match will always be their best match, but I will say this. They did a very good job. They both traded strikes back and forth. Lesnar took over by shoving Reigns into the barricade with his feet. Reigns came back with a Superman punch. Then we had Reigns hitting a beautiful tope con hero. A beautiful tope con hero when Lesnar was on the floor. Looked great. Looked awesome. So, Reigns then threw Lesnar back into the ring and hit a spear, but Lesnar kicked out. Reigns then went for another spear. Lesnar hurdled the spear. Reigns was sent into the buckle. Lesnar with a German suplex. He hit a second one and a third one, and then he hit an F5, but Reigns kicked out. Reigns then reversed the second F5 into a guillotine. Lesnar then broke it up with a spine buster. He went for another F5, but he knocked the ref down. Lesnar then picked up the ref with one hand in frustration, trying to wake him up. To no effect. Reigns hit a spear, and both men were down. Heyman was on the outside. He threw the title in the ring, and he said, "You know what to do with it." Brock then snagged the title from Roman. The Usos came in with a super kick, and then Roman hit Brock with the title, and he pinned Lesnar for the win. I don't know why people are complaining about the ending, because this right here, this was done specifically because of the fact that, again, Roman is running out of challengers. Roman's running out of challengers, and you're not going to just put forth Roman Reigns against no one after WrestleMania, because at the end of all of this, Rock could very well not even show up. So at the end of it all, I don't mind this because I don't have any worries that Roman Reigns is losing that title. And that was the ending of Crown Jewel, an overall very good wrestling show. I had very little to complain about. Now, SmackDown, I had a lot to complain about. We're going to talk about that. Rob Wells Jr., before we get into SmackDown, to answer your question, why can't me and Cameron talk things out? I have no problem talking things out with Cameron, but here's the thing. At the end of it all, Cameron Johnson is an unintelligent wrestling fan. Cameron Johnson doesn't know his kneecap from his earlobe. Cameron Johnson is a individual who gives the benefit of the doubt to WWE way too much, and he says overly stupid things, trying to make it seem like I don't know what I'm talking about. And the fact that he tried to infiltrate my live stream right here just goes to show you how fucking immature he really is. I wasn't thinking about him. I wasn't talking about him. I was going about my business, and I didn't talk to him in weeks. And here he is coming into my fucking stream trying to act cool. That just goes to show you how fucking lame Cameron Johnson really is, to answer your question. When Cameron Johnson grows up and when Cameron Johnson learns to be an intelligent wrestling fan, then maybe I'll come and talk to him. I don't know everything there is to know about everything in the world, but when it comes to pro wrestling, I know what the fuck I'm talking about, and ain't no one going to tell me different. So at the end of the day, it just goes to show you how little of a life Cameron Johnson really has. Cameron Johnson is a fucking loser. He is a loser, and he will always be a loser. Spend some time off of social media, Cameron Johnson. Go touch some grass. Go get yourself a girlfriend. Please. Please. Go make something of yourself. Focus on college. Focus on your job. Focus on your own shitty podcast. Meanwhile, I got the most intelligent wrestling fans on the face of the planet here in the chat with me. What a pussy. He will never, ever touch me. What's he going to do? Fuck him. Anyway, I got my own life to worry about. I can't say the same thing about Cameron Johnson because he's a bum. Let's talk about SmackDown, shall we? SmackDown was terrible. SmackDown was terrible. I don't want to hear anyone fucking try to even justify SmackDown. Oh, by the way, everyone, can I get a fuck Cameron Johnson in the chat? Everyone throw out a fuck Cameron Johnson in the chat. What a nerd. SmackDown was horrible. People claim it's a new era. People claim that things are going to get better after the draft. People claim that SmackDown is the A show. People claim that SmackDown is the A show. No, it's not. The A show is on Wednesdays. Well, it's tonight anyway, but the A show is on Wednesdays. The A show's on Wednesdays from 8 to 10 on TNT. Plain and simple. SmackDown had little to no good on it. I don't think it had any good on it, to be quite honest with you. Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman kicked off the show. Reigns asked Heyman, "You holding that title for me or Brock Lesnar?" Reigns goes, "You throw the title in the ring. Should we work on this? You're not great at your job, but I am. I'm the best of the best. I'm the greatest Universal Champion of all time because I smashed everyone." So he ran down the list of victims that he smashed. He goes, "I whooped Brock so badly that he's tweeting." Of course, referring to the incident where Brock Lesnar said that he's going to beat Roman senseless. So he goes, I got no problem whooping you 2 nights in a row. So you can acknowledge your tribal chief. So he's waiting in the ring. He's pandering, waiting for someone to come out. And then Lesnar ended up coming out. He was beating down Reigns. He became unhinged, taking out cameramen and referees. And Adam Pearce came out. And he was taking out the SmackDown roster. Same stereotypical open, stereotypical bullshit with Brock Lesnar. Stereotypical brawl. There's really no reason to get excited about this. And I saw this coming from a mile away. What happens? Pearce comes to the ring, talks about how Brock Lesnar's actions were heinous and uncalled for and unprofessional and disrespectful and unacceptable, and I'm indefinitely suspending Brock Lesnar. So Lesnar came out to the ring. Pearce and Lesnar stood face to face. Lesnar grabbed Pearce's tie, said, say it again. And then Pearce was on the receiving end of not 1 but 2 F5s. He ripped his pants. And then Brock Lesnar said, I can't hear you. Tell me again, please. And he walked away. And that was it. So that was pretty much that. Stereotypical, lame, open. Now Brock Lesnar is going to go on a 4-month vacation until the Rumble, a 5-month vacation until WrestleMania. He's going to come back and he's probably going to face Roman at WrestleMania. Why? Because The Rock's not going to be at WrestleMania. Who cares? There's really nothing that I can go over that I haven't already said about this. It was a stereotypical garbage open. We've seen it tens of thousands of times before. Brock suspended. And I don't even know why they even had this to begin with. Why did you need to have Brock go out there and just destroy everyone on the roster, burying everyone on the roster, making everyone else look inferior to Lesnar, and then having Reigns just run away? Shit open. So McIntyre came out to issue an open challenge afterwards. It was Sami Zayn. He has new theme music, and it fucking sucks. The new theme music fucking sucks. I don't know. What is it with WWE changing things that aren't broken? It's not a fucking CFO issue. It's not. If that's the case, then Finn Balor wouldn't be using his music. Shinsuke Nakamura wouldn't be using his music. Karrion Kross wouldn't be using his music either. No one would be using that music. But yet there's people that are still using CFO theme music. So what is it? I don't know, but WWE changing something that isn't broken, to me, it just seems like they are jobbing Sami Zayn out, and they are making Sami Zayn seem like a glorified enhancement talent because he's leaving along with Kevin Owens. Sami Zayn's leaving along with Kevin Owens. Sami Zayn answered the challenge. He called Drew a newbie on SmackDown, and he said that he's the best superstar on SmackDown. He accepted Drew's challenge. What happened? Drew McIntyre won in about 8 minutes. Maybe even less than that. Claymore to the face. Sami Zayn's a fucking jobber. And that was pretty much it. Kofi Kingston came out to the ring. There was a robe and a crown and a throne. Kofi introduced Xavier Woods, which, by the way, he should not have won King of the Ring. I will say it again. King of the Ring should not be for men like Xavier Woods. Give those who have not been established the opportunity. Plain and simple. So, Kofi said, allow me to bestow upon you thy cloak, allow me to bestow upon you thy scepter, and of course, thy crown. Long live his reign. Xavier Woods thanked the crowd, and Kofi chanted, "Hail King Woods." That was it. Who gives a shit? I don't give a shit. Xavier Woods will do nothing with this King gimmick, and Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston will end up fighting the Usos. And of course, we go back to the same old shit over and over and over again that we have always seen. It is bullshit. It's bullshit. I'll tell you what's not bullshit, though. My man Indigo. My man Indigo is in the chat. Thank you very much, Mr. Indigo. You are a fucking beast. You are a fucking beast. And I hope that you are having a damn good Saturday afternoon. Thank you very much for stopping by, brother. You are fantastic. I hope you like the new CM Punk merch that I snagged. Next, we had Mansoor versus Mustafa Ali. 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Mansoor wins with a roll-up. That's it. I don't see this breakup lasting long. Like I said, I see that they will get back together sooner rather than later. New era of SmackDown, and we're getting a rematch from just 24 hours ago. Good job. Good job, Vince. Good job, Mr. White Castle Pritchard. Hit Row. Shit Row. And if they didn't suck, now they suck. Hit Row, Shit Row came out. They did their usual shtick and they squashed a couple of jobbers. Plain and simple. I didn't care. There's nothing to get excited about. Hit Row is going to end up just like Sanity ended up. I said it once, I'll say it again. They couldn't get it right with Sanity, and Sanity was better than Hit Row. What makes you think they're going to get it right with Hit Row? Here's a hint. They're not. I would be shocked. I would be dead-ass shocked if Hit Row is not either jobbing out or in catering within the next few months after Vince McMahon's attempt to appeal to the younger demographic with Hit Row fails. Shinsuke Nakamura versus Happy Corbin. Championship contenders match. Another rematch that we've seen 6 times over during the course of the summer. Who gives a shit? I don't give a shit. Happy Corbin wins. Nakamura looked like an idiot. Madcap Moss attacked Rick Boogs. I almost said Drew McIntyre. He attacked Rick Boogs. Did Madcap Moss. He attacked Rick Boogs when Rick Boogs was shredding on his guitar. So Nakamura, like an idiot, saw this happening and he attacked Madcap Moss. And then all of a sudden, Happy Corbin sent him into the stairs. And then Happy Corbin, he delivered the end of days. He delivered the end of days to Nakamura, and a champion loses. So now we got to get this match one more time. You got to get this match one more time. And now it's going to be for the Intercontinental title. I swear, I wouldn't even be surprised if they end up giving fucking Happy Corbin the Intercontinental title. I wouldn't be surprised if WWE gives a big fuck you to the fans at Survivor Series. Oh, you want to see Damian Priest versus Shinsuke Nakamura, huh? You want to see Damian Priest versus Shinsuke Nakamura? No, there's no Damian Priest versus Shinsuke Nakamura. We're going to give you Corbin versus Damian Priest, champion versus champion. Now that's good shit. And then on to the worst segment of SmackDown, the championship title exchange. I already went through everything regarding this championship title exchange, so I'm just going to go over the basic gist of it. But I went through everything regarding this championship title exchange at the beginning of the show. If you want to go check it out after the stream's over, you're more than welcome to do so. But Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair, they came out for their title exchange. Sonya came out. She said they will exchange titles and go to their respective brands as women's champion. So the Becky two-belt chants began being chanted throughout the arena. Charlotte then dropped her title on the floor. This was where the shoot came in. So then she picked it up and gave it to Sonya. Becky then threw her title at Charlotte Flair. Another unprofessional situation from Becky. Charlotte then pitched a winner-take-all match. And then all of a sudden, Sasha came out. She says the Blueprint is the queen of the blue brand. She runs the blue brand. Charlotte, you think you're going to come in here and take over? Bitch, you're out of your damn mind. Becky goes, I'll go to Raw, and I'll let you figure it out. I'll see one of you at Survivor Series. So that was that. Sasha then told Flair that she runs the show before Flair mocked Charlotte for having forgettable title reigns. We get a big brawl, and Sasha stood tall. That was that. I don't know who the fuck finds this interesting. I don't know who the fuck finds this appealing. Becky and Charlotte literally went out there and acted like two children. They went out there and acted like two fucking children in a candy store fighting over who can have what piece of candy. Oh, I want the lollipop. No, I want the Jawbreakers. No, you can't have any candy corn. No, you can't have any Jolly Ranchers. All the Jolly Ranchers are mine. Mine, 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 mine. This is appealing television. Everyone is to blame for this. Charlotte and Becky are to blame for being unprofessional. Vince is to blame for even booking this show. What a fucking joke. What a joke. This episode of SmackDown was terrible. Hello, big boy Johnny. Thank you very much for joining. I greatly appreciate you. You are fantastic in your own right. We actually superseded the like goal. We superseded the like goal. We got 23 likes. We got one more show to talk about. We're going to talk about Rampage. I want you guys to at least get me to 25 likes. 25 likes, people. 25 likes. So, Rampage. Rampage was actually a very good show. A very, very good show. We got a lot of great material on the show. Oh, by the way, Dee Dee, I know you love Skittles. And by the way, do not, and I mean do not worry. Do not worry about you sleeping in. Trust me, it's a Saturday. I'm going to sleep in tomorrow. Tomorrow's a Sunday. I'm going to sleep in. I'm going to focus on what I need to focus on my Sunday. So don't worry. Do not worry about sleeping in. You sleep in. You relax. We all want to relax. We all want to sleep in. So trust me. Do what you want to do. Do not worry. You came in here. You showed up. And I greatly appreciate you. I greatly appreciate Dee Dee. I greatly appreciate Rob Wells Jr. Greatly appreciate Big Boy Johnny and Danielle and Hula Grim and Desmond. Everyone. I greatly appreciate all of you. What I don't appreciate Cameron Johnson. I don't appreciate that fuckboy. But nevertheless, he's gone, never to be seen again from this channel. Only the elite members of the Bossy are here on the channel. Fuck out of here, Cameron Johnson. You can suck my Johnson. How about that? AEW Rampage was actually a very good show. Rampage was perhaps the second best show of the week. I actually can't wait to watch Dynamite tonight. I think that's going to be a great show. So, Rampage kicked off with Powerhouse Hobbs versus Orange Cassidy. This was the first round of the World Championship title eliminator tournament to find out who was going to advance to the second round to fight. I believe it's either number 10 or Jon Moxley. So, the match itself wasn't bad. I don't want to completely shit on this match. I don't. Because Powerhouse Hobbs has really come along. And Orange Cassidy is doing some really great work. Orange Cassidy's doing some really great work. But the ending of this match was not good at all. The ending of this match between Hobbs and Orange Cassidy was fucking terrible. The match wasn't bad. But the ending was terrible. So, So Hobbs hit a spine buster right out of the gate for a very close 2 count. Hobbs looked very impressive here. Hobbs then wore down Cassidy early on. Cassidy mounted a comeback before Hobbs shut him down very, very quickly. He hit a torture rack stretch on Mr. Orange Cassidy, which looked very, very nice. Cassidy then came back with a small package for a 2. Hobbs countered the assault from Orange Cassidy, and he hit a couple of corner avalanches on Orange Cassidy before Bryce Remsburg was trying to get in between him. He was trying to get in between them. All of a sudden, we saw Bryce Remsburg get picked up by Will Hobbs and put to the side. Hook was trying to be the voice of reason. They were arguing back and forth. And then all of a sudden, Orange Cassidy rolls up. He rolls up Will Hobbs for the victory. Listen, I understand that Orange Cassidy was injured, and I understand that you want to make it seem like Powerhouse Hobbs, he's inexperienced, and he is trying to come along. I understand what you're doing there, but if we're going to be real here, this ending made Hobbs look like an idiot. It really did. I understand trying to protect Orange Cassidy because he's injured, but this did not make Hobbs look good at all. The better way to go about this would have been for either Orange Cassidy to have Hobbs hit his head on the post, and that would have knocked him out because Hobbs is a big man, but steel meets face, you get knocked out. That would have been better. Or you could have had the turnbuckle pad come off, and Hobbs could have been sent into the turnbuckle pad, and he could have knocked himself out there. That would have been a better way to go about it. The ending here was not good at all. It wasn't. The match was fine. Ending sucked. Penta was going to be interviewed by Tony Schiavone, but all of a sudden, he saw 2 guys out in the front row, Los Superanas, the green mask guys that ended up being FTR last Saturday for Dynamite. Penta then ripped the masks off of them. There was a couple of unknowns. FTR then came out with Tully Blanchard, and they laid out Penta and stood tall with both the AAA and the AEW World Tag Team titles. FTR versus the Lucha Bros for the tag team titles at none other than Full Gear. I think that's going to be a great fucking tag team match. Afterwards, Pac came out and he ran off FTR. So I'm definitely looking forward to FTR versus the Lucha Bros. I just wish the build could have been better. I don't like how they handled taking the AAA Mega Championships, the AAA Tag Team titles off of the Lucha Bros. That was a lame, very stereotypical, very main roster WWE-esque way of doing so. I hated that. Anna Jay versus Britt Baker. I think that Anna Jay is coming along very well. Anna Jay and the progression of Anna Jay has been a very, 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 very fun thing to see. Britt Baker, she's always been good. This was a decent match. And I like the story with this match. The story itself was mainly about what happened after the match. So the match itself was decent. Baker and Anna traded back and forth holds. Anna came in with a slingshot arm drag and a flatliner into a Koji clutch. Britt Baker sent Anna into the buckle. Baker then remained in control. Coming back from commercial, Britt Baker with a twisting neck breaker for a 2. Anna then with a snap DDT and a drop kick for a 2. They then transitioned into a roll-up. But then Anna Jay locked in the Queen Slayer. Britt tried to fight out of it. Hayter was taken out by Anna Jay. We had a Queen Slayer again. Baker tried to get out of it, but Anna Jay kept it locked in. Britt Baker was able to get to the ropes. She hit a super kick, and then she transitioned into a lockjaw. Anna Jay tapped out. Decent match here between Anna Jay and Britt Baker. And then afterwards, the assault continued by Britt Baker on Anna Jay. All of a sudden, Ty Conti came out to save Anna, and Conti stood tall as she held up the AEW Women's World Championship. They mentioned that Ty Conti is the #1 ranked woman. Ty Conti and Britt Baker, I don't mind that. I don't mind that at all, even though it's predictable. But I think that Ty Conti and Britt Baker, I think they could put on a damn good women's match if they are given the opportunity. I can't wait to see what they do at Full Gear, actually. TBS tournament. It starts tonight. The TBS tournament starts tonight, I believe, with Ruby Soho versus Penelope Ford. And you know what I loved about this TBS tournament? There were 12 women in this tournament, and 4 women received first-round buys. And you know why? Because they are the top 2 through 5 in the rankings. I love it. Chris Statlander, Nyla Rose, Thunder Rosa, and Jade Cargill are the top 2 through 5 ranked women in the top 5 rankings. They get first-round buys in the TBS Championship Tournament. Meanwhile, Ty Conti's #1. She's challenging Britt Baker. Logic in wrestling. It's a beautiful thing to see. I love it. And I can't wait to see how this tournament goes. This tournament right here, AEW is going to show you how to properly do a fucking tournament. I can't wait to see it. I love it. I love it. This is great. This is great. Match that everyone's talking about for the last 24 hours. Andrade El Idolo versus the Bastard Pac. Holy shit. Excellent. 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 Excellent fucking match. I absolutely fucking loved how this match was played out. They did an excellent fucking job with this match. Pac brought it to Andrade right out of the gate with a big Fosby flop on the floor. Andrade stopped his momentum before Pac dodged the double knees. He delivered a swift drop kick. Andrade then came back with a big Tope Con Hero, a springboard twisting crossbody to the floor, a huge pescado plancha. That looked beautiful. Coming back from commercial, Andrade with the 3 amigos. Andrade then missed the springboard DDT and landed on the apron. Pac then with a Hurricane Rana off the apron into a chair that was propped up in the corner. And then he went up to the top again, delivered a beautiful fucking moonsault, taking out Andrade. Crowd was chanting "Fight Forever." We had a springboard cutter. Andrade sold it as if he snapped his fucking neck. Looked great. Andrade still kicked out. Both men were brawling on the apron. Andrade then with a backbreaker and a modified reverse DDT on the apron. And then he delivered a slingshot DDT to Pac on the apron. Looked fucking nasty. Pac and Andrade then went back up to the top. And Pac delivered a beautiful fucking avalanche brainbuster. Andrade right on his neck and shoulders. Fucking amazing. And Andrade still kicked out. They were brawling back and forth. Pac with a super kick and a poison Rana. Andrade came back with a big back elbow. Back and forth. We go up into a roll-up. Andrade gets rolled up by Pac for the 1, 2, 3. And Pac wins. I didn't mind this. I didn't mind Pac winning. I mean, if you're going to lose, I'd much rather you lose in a great fucking match like that, because even though Andrade lost, everyone's fucking talking about Andrade. Everyone's talking about him. I thought that was great. I got no problem with Andrade losing. Afterwards, the lights went out. And Malachi Black was in the ring. And Black attacked Pac. And Andrade and Black were wearing down Pac before Arn Anderson came out. He pulled out his imaginary Glock and pulled the trigger. And up from behind Malachi Black, Cody came in, and Cody helped take out Andrade and Black. Pac versus Black, Andrade versus Cody potentially down the line. Take my money. It's very, very exciting, the matches that we could possibly get. These 4 men right here, Cody, Black, Pac, and Andrade, the matches that we can get with these guys, and the matches that we have gotten with these guys. Can you imagine what happened when Pac and Malachi, they face off? That's going to be fucking big. That's going to be great. I'm telling you, it is going to be something to behold. It's going to be something special. This match was fucking excellent. One of the best matches, perhaps the best match in Rampage history thus far. The short history in Rampage, the best match in Rampage history so far. This was great. This was excellent. Excellent match to end a very good episode of Rampage. And this match, I think this match was longer than all of the matches that we saw on SmackDown. No joke. No joke. Ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up this edition of the Lightning Flash Update. I would like to thank each and every single one of you who tuned into this video. Thank you, Dee Hooligrim, Rob Wells Jr., Drew on the Beat, Big Boy Johnny, and Danielle Wolf. Thank you. Thank you very much. I greatly appreciate each and every single one of you. Even though we deal with haters, even though we deal with retards, even though we deal with trolls, even though we deal with lifeless bums, not like Cameron Johnson, even though we deal with all of them, we still are the number one stream in all of the pro wrestling YouTube community. We still are the number 1 fan base in all of the pro wrestling YouTube community. We are the DJ Storms Posse, and we weed out the retards. We weed them out. We cast them out, and we stay strong. And thankfully, none of y'all are low-life trolls. But nevertheless, I hope y'all stay safe. You have a great Saturday. I'm going to be tweeting live tonight for AEW Dynamite. It's going to be great. Can't wait to watch. Can't wait to tweet about it. And I hope you guys have a great Saturday. I will catch you next week for another killer episode of the LFU. Peace.